And welcome everyone to Comic Book Spectrum for Thursday, February 23rd, 2023. Hope you're ready for a good show tonight. We're going to talk about while DC should have only published 1/3 of its line of a certain character. We'll probably discuss that. Plus, we got some looks into the past of some great comics coming up. And we're also going to tell you what books that you should be spending your money on so you can save some money when you go to the local comic shop. So if you're watching us live, please put your comments in the chat there. And if you're watching us on the rerun, we love you still. Please put your comments down below. And we're going to take off right about now.
Seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
How dare you!
Well, we dare a lot on this show. This is the show about comics for people that don't read comics. And if you do read comics, you're going to get more out of it. We got a whole lot to cover tonight, and we hope you dig what you see here. And, of course, we're going to thank the people who keep us on the air, namely our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you, yes, you, can support your favorite creators directly with a modest financial stipend, which means you send us a little money a month. Even $1 helps us out. And in return, we give you stuff like a twice weekly blog, preview of Volcana 2. A new episode is going to drop tomorrow, Chapter 8. So you want to be there for that. And if you want to see all that we offer, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and help keep the Rising Tide going. And also, we are brought to you by Rising Tide Publications, of course, who are bringing out all kinds of great books like the 10th anniversary hardcover edition of Sandistein in the couple months to come, as well as The Terrors and other fine, super fine publications. And also by Plasmafire Graphics, plasmafiregraphics.com for when the look of your book matters to you.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasmafire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasmafire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
Bizarro Creator does not say, I want a crappy cover on my book. Me no want to sell some copies of it. So then don't go to Plasmafire Graphics. Don't look at the Facebook page. Don't give it a thumbs up. And don't ask about his indie creator-friendly pricing, all right? No, seriously, get a hold of Jeffrey Hayes. He's a fantastic talent. All those covers you saw, he did them himself, and it's not AI. It is JH, the man himself. So check it out at plasmafiregraphics.com and drop him a line and ask for his rates. That's Plasmafire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And we have got the most wonderful, erudite, fantastic group of commentators. Oh, they checked out. Anyway, we've got the guys here tonight, and we're glad to have them here, honestly. There he is. There they are. Clyde Hall, Eric S. Hawkins, Jody McFee, and the one, the only, we can only hope, Brian Rodman, because this world could not take two Brian Rodmans. It would be
I've cloned myself viciously since 1996.
I like that vicious part. But anyway, so anyway, we're here tonight. We're gonna talk about comics. We're gonna talk about the industry. We're gonna have all kinds of fun stuff. And our comments just exploded just here. So I hope one of you brought a mop.
Grant showed up and everybody just started chatting away.
I know. It's like we can just take the night off. Let's
just leave and let him talk to everybody.
No joke. Well, special co-host Grant Lankard. And Donna Carlin sitting down unwraps her caramel Cadbury egg.
Ooh.
That sounds good. Is that cool?
Fun fact.
Yes.
There was in Britain a person stole an entire semi-truckload of Cadbury eggs.
Oh, really?
And but didn't get very far. Apparently, this was premeditated because the guy backed up. You can see it on video. The guy backed up to like the semi box. I don't know trucks, and the cab backed up and hooked it up and drove away, but like got pulled over like 10 minutes later because apparently he didn't plan that far ahead. But yeah, he stole, like, what are you going to do with that many Cadbury eggs?
Oh, my God.
So I think he's the Easter Bunny.
That could be.
That's my personal opinion.
I think you're right. That little bastard's got it in for him. I know that. I saw the
now he's in jail. So tell your children and your grandchildren, your nieces and your nephews that the Easter Bunny is in jail.
There you go. Making new friends.
Exactly. In the worst ways.
Exactly. But he's clean. Anyway, Grant Lankard, we are glad to have you here, my friend. Grant, hello to you, my friend. I'm going to post something here because Grant needs some love on his brand new Kickstarter project, the 5th issue of Beowulf. If you haven't been reading it, you're missing out on something. It has been super, super entertaining so far. And I don't know if anybody else has posted the holy cats. How many people are just chatting without us? Anyway, check it out at this address here, a Kickstarter, or do a search for Beowulf or Grant Lankard, what have you. You can also get issues 1 through 5 at the same time. You will be glad you did. It's a well-produced comic book. Grant is writing a really cool series, so I want y'all to give it some love. Speaking of giving them some love, let's give it up for Ted Davies Artistry. Ted, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Check him out Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. on Ted Davies Artistry channel on YouTube. Please give it a like. And everyone said hello, and wonders where that Witzman dude is. Did you leave him behind in Peoria? I don't know. Anyway, thank you to everyone, to John Wells and to everyone at Peoria QuadCon this last weekend. We did incredibly well, had a fantastic time, and actually made more than I spent, which was kind of an event, really.
Wow.
Oh, I forgot to bring it. I'll have to bring it next time. I bought a Funko Pop, Eric.
Really?
With Cookie's full consent. It was
yay. She knows about it. Yay.
It was Superman.
No.
Dang it.
It was Stan Lee.
Whoa.
As his cameo in Thor.
Oh, that's fun.
So he has a little mechanical arm and everything.
Yeah.
I got that. I almost picked up the composite Superman.
Did you get the special edition one that comes with a little can of his ashes?
No, I didn't. Dang it.
Yeah, you should have got that. His his brand people went a little too far with that, I think.
Oh dear. I'm one of the few people who go, You know?
I'm not sure if I got that one. Hold on. Here's the Iron Man one.
Oh, nice.
Captain America Winter Soldier.
Okay, I should give you the full screen.
I didn't bring them all over. There's 2 more over there. Oh, there's another Captain America.
Nice.
Oh, there's Thor.
Oh, so you don't have the Hulk one where he was a security guard.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Do I? No, I don't think I do.
Oh, that's lovely.
There's I think there's one that he's like looks all pewter, and there's another one over there, and then I have this one. Now, this one's a special one.
Okay.
Because the wife ordered it for me.
Oh,
and
nice.
it was unbelievable price off of some Facebook selling page, and it was the very first one they did of Stan Lee, and yeah, it's an imitation, but he looks real cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
cool.
That is lovely.
Aw.
Yeah.
I like it.
Ooh, I had to take him out of the box and air him out because it smelled bad.
What did it
looks
smell
better now.
like, Eric?
Your
butt?
Chinese plastic and oil.
And butt.
And butt.
Yeah.
Chinese plastic.
Excuse me.
Now they've got one of these with Stan Lee in it that I'm looking for now.
Oh, I think I've seen it.
I saw my comic shop had them for weeks, and I was like, no, I'm going to get it this week. This is the week they didn't have them.
Oh man,
Oh.
that sucks. Yeah, I've been liking those. I haven't pulled the trigger on them yet, though. If I see that Action Comics #1, it's definitely going home with me. So
I don't know if I've seen that one yet.
Around.
My comic shop has a bunch of them, but not that one. I don't think.
Okay, I think it was the first one out. So, but anyway, we got Ted Davies Artistry. Everyone's saying hello, and Dawn Duas. Dawn, mwah! How you doing? It's good to see you. Dawn was accompanying us at QuadCon Peoria, where we ran into a whole bunch of our friends. It was a lot of fun hanging with you, and I was teaching her everything I know, and she is just now recovering. So anyway, and there's Lissy. Mwah. Good morning to you, Lissy. It's morning somewhere. Everyone's saying hello to her. And there's the Witzman dude. Hello, everyone. There's Carl. Good to see you.
Carl's getting air in his tire.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And he made it sound enticing too. So I need my own air pump now. And Grant Lankard wanted to remind everybody that his Kickstarter is still going. Yes, please let's progress report. He's got 68 backers with a little bit of time to go, but he's got a $3,000 goal with $1,418 in the till here. I'd like to see that hit $1,500 before the night is done. So let's do that for Grant. We have posted the links in the whether you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, we've posted the link there. You should be able to get to it. So get to it. It's a really entertaining comic book. It's a lot of fun. And Sarah, mwah, evening to you, darling. Hope you are doing well. And Grant, share it if you get a chance on both Facebook pages. And Dawn will share. Dawn is terrific at sharing Facebook stuff, and she's wonderful. She's been working with Michaela Jade recently, and this one, Grant, why, yes, it is. Thank you, Carl. Thank you so much. And everyone's saying hello to each other, and let's see. And I was going to make a Facebook post tonight. I think you still should. The night is not over. And Sarah's got a message for me. I was just talking about you at Midgard Comics with Mark. Were your ears burning? Midgard Comics is the comic books epicenter in Charleston, Illinois. And both of the guys that run the place were former customers of mine when I worked at the Book Nook in Champaign. So, and they still remember me. So anyway,
for better or worse.
Yeah, well, the PTSD, sinks its roots deep. You know what I'm saying? And Sarah says, well, I never shut up, so it might be a bit of it. Well, that's cool. Do your best. And Rodman Rabbit is on here this evening. Rock on. Your fan club is here. And like I said, we got all kinds of places that say you should get that Kickstarter thing going. So do this thing. Oh, comment dump. And a semi full of Cadbury eggs wipes the drool from her chin.
Yeah, hold on, time out. Eric, your reaction to that story was the opposite of drool. Are you not a fan
Cadbury
of the Cadbury
eggs are second to Peeps. They're disgusting.
Oh, now, okay, so like all
I'll tell you, I did
Cadbury
try
eggs
the
or
Dr.
just
Pepper Peep. It tastes just like Dr. Pepper, but it's still a Peep.
Yeah, I can't handle that. So like all
More for
Cadbury
me.
eggs or just like the traditional with like the egg yolk in the middle?
I haven't tried any but the originals.
Oh
I've
gosh,
never
See,
liked
I
them.
don't like the originals, but the chocolate cream inside, that's
That might
amazing.
be better. I don't know
Yeah,
what the
that's
originals
really
got
good.
in them. But
I think it's
disgusting.
just egg yolk.
I think it
I'm
really is
convinced.
egg yolk and egg white inside it.
So
Yeah,
gross.
left in your car for hours and
Yeah.
hours and
But no,
hours.
the chocolate cream inside the egg is really good. That's all I eat. I don't do the regular.
I'll tell you what I think is an overrated candy, and that's Ferrero Rocher. They're like, you know,
I
they're the
actually
little.
really like that, but they are very
They're really good, but
expensive.
they got hazelnuts in them.
Are you
Yeah,
allergic?
hazelnut is not one of my favorites. Is the thing. So, you know. But anyway, Grant, we are glad to do it. Now, please get on that campaign and let's get some traction on it tonight. And already ahead of you, BKM. That's why we got you here, Carl. You're earning your pay. And he's like, since when? Anyway, not chatting
But,
without
real quick, in
You
reality,
mean I get paid? That's his reaction.
Yeah,
Rodman
he
nor
gets
I
paid as
should
much.
be even eating Cadbury eggs.
No.
No.
You know why?
That's why Clyde was up there shaking his head.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
stupid idiot.
He's like, you morons. Although this time last year, to my knowledge, I did not have diabetes. So
Well, maybe it's
Oh,
the
you had
Cadbury
it.
eggs.
maybe that's why I have diabetes now.
Oh, but anyway, not chatting
Oh,
about.
I do like candy corn though. That's one candy everybody hates. That I do like
you're
candy corn.
you're dead to me now.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Oh, I'm dead to you too, brother. Because
Man.
I like candy corn. I really do. I like it when, especially when it's flavored.
So does my wife.
I
She
got it.
loves
I
candy
got
corn.
some last year at Ollie's. It was what was it? It was like
Garbage. It was garbage.
yeah, it was garbage flavored, and fortunately,
the
it reminds me of my single day. So and I cooked for myself, but no,
Oh,
I
okay. I'm glad you finished that. I was like, what does it mean?
yeah, no, they were red cherry.
Oh,
They were
that might be-
be, and that was actually quite
That might
good.
be okay.
Yeah,
that might
was,
be okay.
I actually quite enjoy it. And whoa, from Sarah chatting about you. Oh dear. And QuadCon was amazing, mostly because of the company I kept. It was really, really a good time. And Dawn was with us as we closed down a local pizza ranch. So anyway,
Nice.
Carl says I was standing there and I witnessed Cookie approving the Funko. It's true.
Whoa, there were witnesses.
They were witnesses to this, and like I said, I almost got the composite Superman, but I was waiting. I was waiting for the money to come in because we had to pay for the damn table. But
Well, you got that giant Superman, don't you?
yes, I had the giant Superman. Yes, and I
Nice.
love it.
I tried to pick mine up the other day with one hand. I couldn't get it around his head. I was like, dang it! Because I was moving. I was like,
Yeah, and I also had the giant
That
size
just comes out
He-Man
wrong. That
too.
just came out wrong. It just came out wrong.
I heard it too, Joe. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was trying to gloss over. And remember, folks, this is okay.
Is it though? I feel like it is very similar sometimes.
Yeah, it is. The only difference is Carl keeps his secret, whereas we broadcast every week. So monetization, what the hell is that? Anyway, and let's see, here we go. Okay, here we go. And I saw Funko Pop at Walmart for $99.99. Walmart, really?
Yeah, that's a thing.
I could see it for some of the sets because I saw one that was like all four members of U2.
yeah, that one was on clearance for $20 a few weeks after Christmas, though.
Okay, not
Much
my
like the
local ones
band
on it.
U2.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
U2
U2.
could
What,
almost-
what one did I get that was on clearance? Oh, I got Run DMC that was on clearance.
Oh, nice.
Because
Yeah,
it was like 80, and then after clearance it was 20. Like, okay.
Wow. Yeah.
That's such a
They do
drop.
have some of the bigger pops, the giant ones. I've never seen one. I did see one for like $80 there once. And it was a Michael Jordan pop, but it was an upper deck Michael Jordan.
Mm.
And it just kept floating around the store. It was always near a scanner. This went out for a couple months. I think people say, oh, this got to be like.
I like how you just like keep it. I like how you keep a mental journal of where pops are in stores. Like not just which stores they're in, but where they're placed in the store. I like that.
Well,
It's like a fun
It
journey.
kept popping up every different aisles. In electronics, it was up front. It was in toys. It was in clothing. It was
Are
everywhere.
you sure it wasn't a cursed object and is just following you around?
Might have been.
I think you should buy it now,
Hey, no,
It may be in his
I
house
won't pay
already.
that much for a Funko Pop.
especially if it's cursed.
That's right. Oh, and Dawn said, I almost saw the exchange but got busy. Well, what happened was I told Cookie I was going to do it. And then I said, well, honey, I'll just be down the way checking out other dealers and making friends. And I buy and then there was a little alcove with the Funko room. And I'm like, she's not with me. Zip. So, and Eric will tell you I do buy things when she's not around because I love to see the look of surprise on her face and joy.
Disgust,
I'm sure it's
I
joy.
think it is. It's a look of disgust.
Just to keep convincing yourself it's joy, and one day, there will be There will be much murder to be had because of the joy.
Yeah. My ghost is going to be hosting this thing. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Would you like to know if you got it for a good price?
I think I did $15 for the Stan Lee.
Yeah.
I know it's not, it wasn't marked down to like, $5 or anything.
No, I mean that's what it's going for. So yeah, that's good.
Okay, that's cool. But I'm still looking now for the composite Superman. It was from like old issues of World's Finest Comics. It was a character that was divided down the middle, half Superman, half Batman, and had the powers of the Legion of Superheroes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Dad doesn't think he has that one. Think is the key word.
The only one I didn't bring over was the Guardian of the Galaxy one.
Yeah.
Or
and
my Stanley Migos too.
There you go. And Sarah and the wife ordered it. That's right. And Collecting Book of Shadows and some other comics Book of Shadows is very interesting. Oh, cool. Tell us more about it. And like this show, or Sarah will have you face the wrath of the Cat o' Nine Tails. Or like the show and face the wrath, because that'll save you $20 downtown. And Permissivia, Drop Dead. We've got somebody on Twitch that wants to sell us viewers. So take your offer kindly, fold it till it's all corners, and insert it sideways and dry. Thank you for your attention. We're not going to put you on the air either. And Grant, I mentioned inflating car tires in your post. It's a popular topic, I gather. Yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, in my case with the van, the front wheels take 50 PSI. Most regular car tires, even van tires, are around 30, and my rear wheels take 80.
I bet your rear. I can't say that.
He can't say rear.
Talk to me about my rear.
I can't
Go
say
ahead.
it. I can't. It's difficult. Hey, you know what?
Make it raggy.
Eat your rear. You sound like the Swedish chef. Your rear is you get the food to bears.
Morgan.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're just that unforgettable and unforgivable as well. Donna says, I like the caramel best, but the chocolate comes very close.
See?
And
chocolate's good.
Chocolate is good. And Teresa Dunn, good evening also. I'm like, mwah, Teresa, hope you're doing well tonight. Glad to see you here as always. Sarah says, so can you use a car tire inflation thing, work on a doll too? Please tell me you're asking for a friend.
Yeah, I think so, from what I've heard.
Yes, you can, well, just like any, the regular bicycle pump that you put the adapters in the end of it.
That's code adapters. And I never thought about it before. It would be awesome to see explode, though. Yeah, I don't know about that either. We're not sure about it either, Sarah, but please don't ever change just for us. And everyone say hello to Teresa. And Lissy loves candy corn.
What?
And Sarah said, and Teresa Dunn, rather, has diabetes. I guess just the mentioning of the Cadbury egg has given her diabetes.
Yeah, man. We started talking about it. My blood sugar went up at least 30 points.
I'm telling you,
I'm
going to be mainlining insulin after this. And even knitted a candy corn inspired sweater. That's our Lissy. And candy corn puke. I've never had that flavor, Ted.
I knew I liked you, Ted. Thank you.
I've never had that flavor before. But if you want to ship some to the office here,
that's the original flavor, Brian.
Oh, is it? The puke,
yeah.
The puke one? Okay.
How would you know? You don't eat it.
I've had it before. How do you think I don't know? How do you think I don't like it?
You don't know.
However,
you don't know. You don't eat it.
I did go through a season where, like Lewis Black, I would convince myself every year that I liked candy corn.
Okay.
And then I would eat it and immediately regret my life decision.
I like those little peanut butter candies wrapped in the black and orange paper too.
I still like those too.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always liked those.
They're like peanut butter versions of Biddle Honey.
Those are the kind of candy that when I got those on Halloween, I went the trash. Threw them. Yeah. I threw them at the person's window the next night. Like that I was offended.
Like, how dare you give me this?
Next year's the toilet paper all over the tree. We
will
remember.
Free candy. You expect me to like this?
We will remember.
Yes, I said candy, I said treat, not the trick. And
Right.
you know who will have diabetes? The guy that stole all the Cadbury eggs. There you go.
Yeah. Well, no,
And
because he's in jail now.
that's true.
So,
That's true.
Yeah.
And especially the flavored ones for Donna
So
Carlene.
so that means he'll get better health care than I do.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
you
that
go.
means.
See,
Yeah,
and they'll make all kinds of neat friends too.
Yeah.
So, and we've had our second comment for the dump, and let's see, and we got a request from the audience. I don't have one near me. Lick the Funko spine.
Ooh.
That's
Nope.
weird.
Sarah's up here asking for a classic BKM.
Yeah. This is the very foundation of what BKM is all about.
It is. It is.
We'll wait for you to go find one, Brian. Go ahead.
We'll vamp.
Now, I'll get one during the first review. How's that?
There you go.
Okay.
He doesn't need to listen to mine anyway.
No, I do, but I'll hear it in my head.
And in your
like
heart.
always, in my heart, yes. And Dawn said, yes, I helped pay for the table at QuadCon. She got one of my books, and she said she liked it, too. And Lissy isn't talking about one of my books. Some of the flavored ones are great. I haven't tried too many of them, though. And that's nice of you, Dawn. Yes, and Glenn Fleming, Brian, just let me know I'm off to bed. Well, now I can't get that image out of my head, Glenn. And since you told me you don't wear PJs, I'm telling you. So anyway, if you see me with a silly smile on my face for the rest of the show, you can thank Glenn Fleming. Anyway, also if you want a really well-edited book, you pick up Jack Kirby, Personal Journey, Words and Pictures. I want to make sure I got it right. This is about his journey to LA to visit the King of Comics, Jack Kirby himself. It's profusely illustrated, has a wonderful CD with the voice and image of the King of Comics himself. And lots of pictures of Glenn for those nights, those lonely, lonely nights. But anyway, check out this book. You can get it directly from Glenn. Hit him up on Facebook and say, where's mine? But anyway.
Yeah, apparently there's a centerfold of Glenn in that.
There is. Yeah. And, he had to cover himself up. Fortunately, he had a catcher's mitt, so it was all right. So anyway,
okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Sarah says they were single character Funko Pops that much at Walmart. It was maybe slightly bigger than the regular Funko Pop, but not by much. There are some, I won't call them knockoffs, but they're
For
different
Walmart, that
brands.
is a
Yeah,
large
that's
amount.
a lot.
Yeah.
Because
on
Walmart.com, you'll find stuff because there's third-party sellers on there. But,
Right.
in store, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've seen some in our local store, and I know that like years ago I picked up it looks almost like a Funko Pop, but it's all metal and it's Orko. And I have an Orko metal one and an Orko Funko Pop, so I'm a happy boy. And it was an electronics on an end cap. Well, I'll have to visit your Walmart then, I guess. And Teresa Dunn says good news. She may be getting her own apartment soon.
Hey.
Hey, okay.
All right. Congratulations.
Yes, and everyone thinks that's awesome, and sounds like you're thriving impressively. And Sarah goes, Glenn, and everyone's greeting Glenn because they have to do it real loud because he doesn't live near here. And that's good, Teresa. Less area to take care of. Leave the plumbing to a landlord. And Teresa says she's got some comics for sale.
No, leave the plumbing to Amy Hale. She knows it best. With the Hale pail. Get yours.
That's
today.
true. That's true. And make sure you get your pod catheter from Rising Tide Industries too. So anyway, Teresa, we are interested. We can get those together, please. And how many are you selling? And hi. And sounds like the Charlie Brown's teacher. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. And all it took was rear wheels to get us off track again. Yep. Tracks.
Rear.
Carl, get me a 2-hour loop of that, will you? That'll be next week's show. That'll be our fill-in.
Send it to your worst enemy.
Get shut up, and they'll be like, "What did you send me, Brian? We give up. We're sorry."
I tried to exercise it 4 times, and it wouldn't. It's still here.
And John Celestri, sir, you honor us with your presence here. Glad to see you. It's been a long time. It's so very wonderful to see you looking good, Brian Rodman.
To you, my friend.
There you go. Good to see you, John. Check out John's channel. He does a lot of cool drawing stuff. And everyone's saying hello. And I saw a Latina. It sounds like, if you go to the optometrist, you can get
I feel like I need an adult now that I read that. I don't know.
I do too.
I'm uncomfortable.
Here we go. Gorgeous man at work. I said my eyes got diabetes from the level of eye candy. Sarah, how could you? I wasn't there. I mean, come on. Anyway, Teresa's got 10 of them right now, and Mary Jane's hated them as a kid, loved them as an adult. Orange and brown candies.
Ugh.
Well, it's amazing how your tastes can change. There's a lot of stuff that used to make me do the Technicolor yawn that now I like. So
it is true. I mean, I used to loathe coffee when I was a child, and now I can't get enough of it.
That's yeah. Poor Joe. Joe, if you want to fit in with this crowd, you know what I'm saying, man. And please text Teresa. And Sarah says, I'll look for you on Facebook. I tried to obliterate that account, but realized I wouldn't be able to log back in to get on anything moved over because I can't remember the log on. I'll find you, Teresa. And good to see you. It's good to see you. Everybody's saying hello. Look at all this getting along here. This is great. Anyway, that does it for the comments. And I just realized this would be the first Funko. If I lick the spine, it'll be the first Funko Pop I have ever removed from its housing.
Why don't you just lick the housing spine?
I could do that. Okay, I could do that. I could
They're kind of made to come out of the box. It's fine.
Well, let's see. We'll see. We might have some other stuff we'll be licking later.
Oh, there it is.
And
Eric, you missed it. Eric missed it, Brian.
Looking.
Do it again.
Okay, it's okay.
Eric,
I'm drawing thousands of zombies here.
Okay.
There
Leave him alone. Leave him alone, Errol.
Oh,
Leave
yeah,
him alone.
sorry.
And this afternoon, notice it was 500 until I made a comment. Now to cut me off of the tracks, it's going to be 1,000.
Well, I estimated 500. I started counting. Yeah, I got more than 500. That's only like a eighth of the page.
Did you draw every single one?
80% of them I have.
Wow, that's impressive.
I did take.
That's more work than I would put
batch
into it.
Of about 20 and copied them a couple times and started filling in between them. Yeah.
I would just draw 20 and then maybe do some alterations for each one.
Photoshop.
Yeah, that's too much.
Drop.
Yeah.
My fans demand more
all the time.
And Eric is all about the fans.
Yes.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, and Sarah says, people I work with take my jokes seriously. I have no poker face. How the hell? I don't know why people are comparing you to a Lady Gaga song. And Joe D has disappeared. No, Joe is hanging his head in shame.
I'm actually working on something right now that will fit in when you see it a little bit later.
Get right, Brian. It's going to fit in. Anyway. Oh,
I feel like there should be an Eric's butt joke here.
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
I just burped some Long John Silver's though. Woo.
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
We'll be seeing Eric's butt soon enough. It sounds like.
Yeah, you missed it. We discovered that Eric is a part of the Long John Silver's Illuminati.
I saw that.
Film at 11.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of it. I the first time I had it, I was in Indiana.
I'm sorry.
Indianapolis. The Rams had just come to St. Louis, but we couldn't get tickets, so we drove to Indianapolis to see them play.
Uh-huh.
We were driving home from Indianapolis. We go, well, we all like Captain D's. Long John Silver's can't be that different.
Oh, yes, it is.
Everything, the shrimp, the chicken, the fish, it all tastes the same.
It's covered in grease.
Everything is different.
I pulled over on the side of the interstate and threw up.
Yeah.
Then another one threw up. Then the other one threw up.
Yeah. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I just kind of want some fish and I want some slaw and some hush puppies and pour some malt vinegar. You pour the malt vinegar on it.
It's too much work.
Grease up.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. I
surprisingly, who has really good fish sandwiches? Arby's.
I haven't tried theirs.
We got the meats.
Well, right. They just recently changed their fish sandwiches. That's the reason why.
Oh, did they? Well, yeah, I had them last year.
Why
they're very
better
tasty.
now.
Yeah, they're very good now.
In 1986, Hardee's had a great fish sandwich.
In 1986, I was born.
Oh, I was working at Hardee's.
So he's got insider information here. but no. I used to like when it first opened in my area. I used to really, really enjoy Long John Silver, until I went to places that really knew how to cook fish.
Right.
And then once I got that, it's like I can't go back there.
Yeah.
It's like ordering the fillet of fish. You notice that all its deficiencies once you get exposed to the next level ups.
But that's the thing about Long John Silver. It's like, oh, you want something quick and fast that has grease in it?
Yeah.
Long John Silver. You're not
was
buying
gonna say,
fish. You're just buying.
Nobody's going to
whatever
Long John
Jordan
Silver's
fishery
for
catch plus grease.
right. Nobody's going to Long John Silver's for fine dining.
Oh,
You
no,
pretty
they're
much
not.
know what you're gonna get if you go
Yeah.
there.
It's
So
true.
That's when you
sadness.
go to Burger King.
Yeah, sadness and regret. That's what you're gonna get when you go there.
Yes, and opening the sluices at both ends. But
You know,
anyway,
I have to say, I'm not convinced Clyde is really here. I think that's just a poster. Because I haven't heard a word from Clyde. Are you okay? Blink twice if you're being held against your will. Okay.
How can he get a word in edgewise with the other four of us? That's the thing.
That's true.
He's biding his time. He's like, I just wait for these guys to take a breath and I can say something intelligent.
He's like, I'm just waiting
the
for Brian
show.
to have an asthma attack so he'll finally shut up.
Which
So-
one?
He's just preparing that sick burn. That's pretty much what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Clyde's like, I have the joke that's gonna do the asthma attack in my back pocket. I'm just choosing the correct time. That's
And
all it is.
And then he yells bingo and the show's over, And Don Douglas would like the green room, but that's only one night away. And Sarah goes, yes, I can agree with licking spines of anything you'll do. Sarah's going to be appearing on the show next week. Yeah, that's what she said. Yep, in the green room with BKM at the moment. And Dawn is like, I hope that means she's amused or she's telling us to go to hell. And Desk is trying not to say right here, and there. And there I was in Indies.
Picture it, Indianapolis.
That's right.
1986.
Oh, and the chicken KFC does not taste like fish. The exact same batter and oil is on everything there, so they all taste the same to me and cause severe stomach cramping. I love the biscuits, though.
Popeyes biscuits are better.
We can't eat at Popeyes. Everything has monosodium glutamate in it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and she, the spousal unit is
The spousal unit.
Yeah, she is not. It does not treat her well.
That's sad. Popeyes is my favorite fast food chicken.
It used to be till it was causing her migraines.
Yeah. That's so weird. That sucks.
It's not uncommon, I found out. But no, what was it? We have found some brands we like better. Lee's Chicken is the ultimate.
Really good.
Church's Chicken is good.
Church's Chicken, Cane's Chicken. We just finally
Depending on where you get it.
Yeah, that is true.
Church's Chicken.
Yes, that is
where you get it.
very true.
That's true. But we have one that opened in Campus Town, Cane's Chicken. We got that. We got that a couple weeks ago, and that was good.
Cane's just doesn't have any seasoning for me. Like I need something with a little flavor, and it's just there.
That's why I like Lee's.
Cane's is a Zaxby's ripoff, basically.
Yeah.
Even though
I feel
they opened like a year apart from each other, established about a year apart.
Zaxby's
now,
exact same menu, they look the same.
Cane's toast though, that's where it's at, man. Butter on both sides.
Yeah. Oh, that's the bomb.
Get
that's
the toast Bob style. It's great.
Well, what we liked was we went there at 5:00 in the evening during rush time. The place was packed, and we got our stuff in about 7 minutes. They said we have to fry a fresh batch. We got it in 7 minutes, and they were apologizing for making us wait so long.
Wow.
That's the kind of service I like.
Sounds like somebody came over from Chick-fil-A and opened a Cane's. That's what that
could be.
like.
Yeah, right. No, except our Chick-fil-A has these impossibly long lines.
Yeah,
in the
but
drive-through.
I've been in the long lines, but they zip through.
Yeah, man.
Really?
They're pros.
Chick-fil-A is overrated.
Chick-fil-A food is, but the service is really good. I do have to say that. And it's the opposite for Popeyes. Popeyes, the food is amazing and the service, you might get kicked in the teeth if you say anything wrong. But it's worth it because it's delicious.
Yes. Well, Lee's is the best. Because Lee's tastes better cold.
I don't know if that makes it better.
It doesn't, is it? Because I've had like KFC and stuff the next day, and it's been like, it's all right cold. But Lee's is just amazing. It tastes great cold.
This is pretty good.
Well, considering that KFC does not really do their original extra crispy anymore.
Yeah.
It
No.
doesn't
And
matter.
let's be honest, KFC is not really food anymore either.
True.
It is to
Yeah.
it is to chicken cuisine what Taco Bell is to Mexican. It's like this.
I would
weird
say Taco
bastardization
Bell
of it.
is better Mexican food than KFC is chicken.
I love KFC.
Well,
You
there's
would.
one in every crowd. Erica's ours. But
I'll tell you what, KFC for the chicken, Popeye for the sides.
even there's
Oh.
even
You think
Popeye.
KFC is better than Popeye's chicken?
Yes, I do.
Oh, sir.
He likes
You
it. He
broke my
likes
heart.
Except
Popeyes,
for,
they're-
except
they
for
put-
one KFC, and that is the very first one in Kentucky. We stopped there when I was a kid. We all got sick eating there.
Well, the thing is, unless they change it, Popeyes even puts MSG in their green beans,
Wow.
and all
Oh,
they're
well.
doing is just opening a can, putting MSG, and heating it up. That's all it is.
Huh.
Welcome to Kitchen Spectrum, where
Fast
we review
food
the latest
spectrum.
restaurants. And and Carl Witzman says we got this fish grease, and John B. Pikus says, y'all ain't got no fast food. Ain't no fast food got good fish. That's true.
Doesn't really.
That's true.
Yeah.
I
is
like
good.
I like a Filet-O-Fish, man. I love the Filet-O-Fish.
Oh, like for McDonald's?
Yes.
Okay, so like I worked
Here
at a
it comes.
McDonald's.
It's a different bun than everything else in the location. And it's softer and steamy and so good.
He likes soft, steamy buns.
Yeah. I mean the buns are good, sure, but the fish itself is just gross. I can't handle it.
It's just a square patty with grease.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah, it's so
Pretty
gross.
much. Yeah. And Don Dula says, I grew up in rural Minnesota. I am picky when it comes to fish. And I can't really eat Long John Silver's for health reasons, but man, it was tasty, says Grant Lankard. And yeah, Indy, 2 hours from here, but like pulling teeth to spend time with someone who's just had 2 days off work. Hero House is my fave shop. That's a comic book place over there.
Hmm.
And we just had our third comment dumped. Keep them coming, folks. We'll get to sign off, and we won't have to do anything. Anyway, it'll be like the nighttime. Never mind. Furthermore, John B. Pike, I got the worst food poisoning for Silver's 20 years ago and can't even think about eating it again. I feel the same way about Taco John's chain, because during our honeymoon week, Cookie and I went to the one that was in the Champagne.
Does John own Taco John's? The way it came out, I was like Taco John's chain.
It could be. It could be. He had it in for me even back then. But no, Johnny and I are friends. Anyway, no, Taco John's, I think it's a regional chain, but it's like we went there the week.
Yeah, because
of
I've
our
never
honey-
heard of it.
No.
Yeah, we went there the week of our honeymoon, Cookie and I, and we thought the sauce tasted a little off, but we wrote it off to their recipe, and we got the worst case of food poisoning ever. And when you love a woman, when you go, no, honey, you go to the bathroom first. That's when we knew we were meant for each other. It's like, no, honey, you go. No, you go, Brian.
Just
no.
go at the same time, and it'll be
Yeah,
okay. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
As I have
What,
explained to
they
people,
have like a Norbit moment. They're both on each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Holding hands.
and I think, as I have said many times, that is a level of intimacy that even in 31 years we have not been able to achieve. So
I don't know if you should call that intimacy. I think you should call that disturbing actidities.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And notice Clyde got even quieter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Clyde's like, can I leave now? I don't want to.
Clyde's just going to slip out of here. And like a homestyle comic shop in downtown in Indy. Okay, I don't think I've gone to that one. I will have to check that out. And I mean, Long John Silver's is all the same batter, but the biscuit part is right. I like the inner gooey center. Everyone likes the inner gooey center. And biscuit from KFC, for the love of God, I need to stop trying to get a thought out. It is Sarah. No, that's entertaining that we get to watch you try. It's fun. And why y'all eating fast food junk? Because I can't cook on the road, and that's all I do. And welcome to Comic Food Channel. We'll get
Comic
back to
Food
comics soon, I
Network.
swear. And fast food restaurant channel, even classier. There we go. And they're really missing on a niche market, Carl. There we go. And I think so, Nessie. Let's see, rather a fast food and candy review channel, and nom nom con.
I would go to that comic. I would go to that con.
I would
For
be
sure.
there. I
Yes.
seriously would. And Chick-fil-A, according to John B. Pike, was hired by the feds to coordinate the logistics of giving the vaccines. Oh my God. Oh. Welcome to Conspiracy Theory Hour now. And,
That's a weird conspiracy theory. I've never heard that one before. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Oh, excuse
No,
me.
I
I gotta change the tinfoil.
Yeah,
excuse
get the
me.
aluminum foil one. That'd be great.
That's so the aliens can't hear my thoughts. But anyway, where you mix food and comic conventions for your pleasure, just like being ribbed. And Grant Langer says, you guys are making all this junk food and I'm having salads for dinner. And Ginkgo, good to see you, Ginkgo. It's been a long time. Taco Bell food is like it is pre-digested.
Pretty
We
much,
chew
it's
it
like
so you.
It's like you're just getting mama birded every time you get Taco Bell.
There you go.
You know.
We chew it so you don't have to. And pleasure. I'm stopping now. Holy hell from Sarah. And MSG is bad, but candy corn is not, BKM? No, because there's no MSG in candy corn. End of story.
Well, think about it. What if there was?
Then I'd eat it all, and Cookie couldn't have any. I can eat that crap. Yeah, so it'll work out for me. And KFC and Popeyes are right next door here. I'm sorry, Dawn. And are there still Taco John's left? I see them occasionally when I'm traveling, John. I do see them. They're not as, I don't think they're as widely dispersed in the last, as they were 30 years ago, because I think they were trying to kill too many of their patrons. Anyway, you can judge by me and Cookie. And Taco John's, I think, is regional. Yeah, and no, that is true. Okay. Oh, it is true, John. Okay. That's what they all say, John. Anyway, so we are finally through the comments, and that was a very profound cough, Eric. And there was one in Pekin. There was one in Bloomington, Illinois, too, and two near where Dawn grew up. Well, I never grew up, so there were none near me. So anyway, let's get to comic stuff, and we have a very special presentation from the one, the only Brian Rodman. So, Brian, you want to take it away here?
I'd love to.
The question was
rhetorical,
but I'm glad you agree.
You want to roll that beautiful bean footage?
Oh, do I have it?
Do you have it? If you don't worry about it.
Okay. Okay. We got comics! We got comics! Okay, there you go. There's your...
All right. So, this week, we started something on the Facebook page called Comic Book Rewind. And this week, if you haven't checked out my brief article on Outcast Volume 1, you should totally check it out. And this is my little infomercial for that article. So, what was it? 2014, Robert Kirkman, who had risen to huge heights and fame because of The Walking Dead, started writing a comic book series called Outcast, which I was just starting to get into comics at this time again, and because I kind of went through I was still into comics but not buying them on the regular, and I started a pull box and saw the first trade paperback of Outcast. And I thought that was pretty cool. I saw Robert Kirkman's name was attached to it, and I knew that he had done Walking Dead. I enjoyed The Walking Dead. I read the first couple trade paperbacks, and I am not a huge zombie guy. So the fact that Kirkman was able to make me enjoy zombie stuff says a lot about his writing and his character development. And character development is really what drives Outcast. The story is really good. The story's pretty cool, but it is a slow burn. However, the character development and the artwork just keeps you there. It keeps you going, and it really helps you commit to it. For the whole series, this team, because the series is over, I think it capped out, I think, around 50 something issues. But Robert Kirkman is the creator and the writer. Paul Azaketa, I don't remember how to say his last name, is the artist. So he does all the pencils and the line work. And Elizabeth Breitweiser is the colorist.
Oh,
Those three, they're this team. I want them to do all horror books for me, because I feel like this is what a slow burn. It feels like the really good 1970s horror movies. So like Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, like it has that build to it. So you know something is coming the entire time. Because really, throughout volume 1, it's good. You get a lot of really cool plot points, but it's mostly just building to something that you know is coming later. And later on, it does, I think, deliver on its promise. By the end of the series, volume 1, not a ton happens. You just really start falling in love with these characters. And just to kind of give you I mean, look at this. Just at the very beginning, the artwork for me kind of sells it all. It's nice. It's like sketchy. I don't know, just not polished, and I like that about the tone. I think it really helps the tone of this series. And Brightweiser's colors are phenomenal in this. But this is the beginning, the very first. I think this is the second or third page, and a mom and her son are making dinner, and she notices that he starts growling, and she catches him gnawing on his finger, and of course her reaction is appropriate. um, and then from there we are introduced to one of the main characters. His name's Reverend John, and he, in this scene, I really think it captures the entirety of his character throughout the whole series, because in this scene he's playing poker with some friends, and he's just kind of spouting some drunken uh half crazed theology at them. And you also just kind of see, like, he's a devout Christian. He truly believes what he believes. It's like a sensational kind of Pentecostal belief of Christianity. But he's 100% on board with it. But you can tell he's also a little unhinged. He's got some screws loose. And if pushed too far, he might lose it. And you just kind of this brief one page captures all of that in his character, through the artwork, through, I mean, I love this panel of him, because you see that kind of unhinged, exhausted, but just still, I don't know, kind of a tortured soul in that. And I really love how they have depicted him from the get-go. And then after that, we meet our main character, who is Kyle Barnes. And he is a mess at the beginning. We meet him, and we soon find out that he had an abusive mother, and something dark happened with him and his mother. Later, you do find out, I think in the first issue, that that she was possessed by a demon, and he, fought back one night when she went off on him, and exorcised the demon. And she went into a comatose state and is still in that state when we pick up at the beginning of this story. And as you know, when he's an adult. And so him and the Reverend go on this kind of this local mission of of him punching people who are possessed and exorcising them. And if that sounds ridiculous, it kind of is. But they sell it so well, and soon they discover it's not him punching the demon or the possessed people that exorcises the demons. It's something much, much more involved. And thankfully, because if it was just him punching them, I feel like I would have put the book down a long time ago. But they take it very seriously. It is well crafted. One of the best stories, I would say, of the 20 teens for sure in comics. And if you know me and my work and my faith, I love stories like this. I think Robert, as a Christian, Robert Kirkman writes a Christian reverend, even though he is pretty sensational and a little bit of a nut job. I think he writes him fairly. Because a lot of people in mainstream entertainment, depict Christians as loony bins, because a lot of times Christians can be loony bins. And I get it. But in this story, I think he's very fair. He depicts the character as, just a normal dude that believes what he believes and is trying to do good in his community, and really struggles with some stuff. And then on the flip side, you have Kyle, who's an atheist who doesn't really believe anything, and now he's starting to see if they're real. What are these things you're calling demons, and where do we go from here? So you see kind of a crisis of faith on both sides, and I love that dynamic to this story. So Outcast Volume 1, 10 out of 10, great introduction to the series. It really kind of locks you in and promises something, a big something that is to come. And I think if you like these kind of stories, this is definitely up your alley. If you like The Walking Dead, this is definitely up your alley. And it's not very long. I think it's oh, that's sad. And no, I mean, it's it only lasted like 50 issues. All of them are available on Hoopla as well, because I'm super poor right now, and that's how I'm reading them. So yeah, go get it. 10 out of 10.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Wow.
That sounds good. Yeah. Seriously, that's super.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was going to ask how many volumes there were. So yeah, and to have the same team working, it's the same team working on all 50 issues.
Yeah,
right?
everybody. Yeah, it's it's those three the whole ride. It's really good.
Beautiful. Well, I got to give Brian some kudos here, because I told him this week that I started reading Saga.
Oh yes,
by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, I think it is. And that's yes.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at Joe. He knows I'm laughing at him. I saw his face.
Joe loves Saga. Joe loves Saga so much.
I think we're going to find more unanimous offerings if we talk about chicken or candy on this show tonight. No, yeah, I think it's genius. I'm really liking the interplay of characters, vivid characters, and the letter column is probably one of the best around. It's very interactive, and I gotta thank Brian for including me into that. So
you're welcome. I mean, it's not for everyone.
No, it's not for Joe apparently.
It's like it's not for everyone,
which is fine, and it's really not for everyone. Like there are some people that would read that and just be like, "What is this? What is Sex Planet? What is happening?"
Yeah,
and
like where the random blowjob and the random sex scene comes into play with the story at this point. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I knew
look
it
above Eric.
Everyone.
Rated M for mature, folks. There's a reason we got it there.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't for everyone when he goes to Sex Planet or Planet Sex. I can't remember what it's called, and it's pretty much just sex worker planet, and they're just these two prostitutes walk out, and they're just heads with legs, and you're like. Mm-hmm. What am I doing with my life? Why am I reading this? But there are moments like that. But I look at it as to me, it was like Game of Thrones meets Star Wars. It was kind of that combination. So I really liked it.
Star Wars, I felt that it was more like Buck Rogers.
It was like Star Wars, but it was like Star Wars, but
more like Buck Rogers.
I like that better.
Buck Rogers.
Yeah, I like that
better. You have
actually.
dignitaries going to this sex planet, And instead of just saying, okay, we're here to broker a treaty, the first thing that they do is, hey, let's go ahead and give you a blowjob, and then we talk about what needs to happen for our planets. I'm like,
let's blow your treaty. Let's do that. Come on. So
that's code.
Yeah. So
that's the reason my reaction to is like, oh, I'm enjoying Saga. I was like,
have you gotten to that part, Brian?
Oh yeah.
Okay. It happens pretty early on, so I figured.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm sold. I'm so sold.
I got the big, huge omnibus that has the first 50 issues. Now, I've only read the first or second issue since they picked it back up last year. So I'll probably get those on Hoopla once, because I am going to reread Saga after Outcast.
I just downloaded issue 62.
Oh, okay. Today. So you're almost
way into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, seriously. And the thing is, I described it to Cookie, and her reaction was. But then I read some of the lines, some of the dialogues, and she goes, "Now that's funny. That's clever."
Well, see, honestly, my favorite character is Lion Cat.
Yeah.
I love Lion Cat. Especially, there's a moment with Lion Cat, and I forgot the young girl, the young sex worker.
Right.
There's a back and forth between those two that really brought me to tears. It's so meaningful. And that's the thing, is you have these bonkers scenes that's in Saga, but then they could turn around and like really do something with the characters. And I really appreciate that.
It is a very good character driven story.
Yes,
agreed.
It's just that it has those moments where it goes completely off the rails. And
it really does.
If you can stay along with just enough to where it comes back on the rails, you're okay with it. With me, it's like, no, that train sailed. I got to the point where it's like,
what was the moment? I'm curious. What was the moment?
Every 5 issues, it does something like that. I was like,
yeah, it jumps the shark.
Repeat. It does not serve a purpose at this point. You tell a good story and then you want to ruin it.
What was the moment that was like enough for you, Joe?
It was just like every time a new plot twist was introduced.
There are a lot of them.
It seems like, okay, we're introducing this, and then we're going to segue over here to this, if I could say, egregious sex scene.
And now for something completely
set up
different.
kind of like a tie-in to what we was talking about 4 or 5 issues back. And I was like, why? Why are you doing this watch, rinse, repeat? Like,
I wonder if it would be better if you like, because I sat down and I read most of it all at once. And I wonder if it would have been a better experience for you if you just sat down and read it from beginning to issue 50.
Yeah, I've been reading the trades.
Yeah, that's how I read them.
No, I read it issue by issue, and I was like,
I didn't do that. So I could see how that would be a turnoff then. If you just broke it up like that. Some stories are better told as a whole.
Like Sandman.
Yes.
Because I had trouble with Sandman after a while.
Especially
I
like,
about
what was it? Volume 2 is really difficult if you break it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went back later and I read it in trade paperback form. And I'm like, okay, in this way, this is one of the most brilliant comics I've ever read. But you read that kind of episodic thing where it's like, this week it's the Three Stooges, next week it's Masterpiece Theater, next week it's $6 Million Man.
And it makes sense because he's a novelist.
Yes. And novelists are cool, right, Clyde?
No, I mean, but novelists are used to having your audience expecting one big chunk of story.
Yeah.
And that's not what comics are. Absolutely. I mean, and then you could just pick up that, which is just the best way to read Sandman.
Yeah.
At all.
It really is.
Yeah. Leather bound.
And the books
wonderful.
are too. Oh, so.
Ew, that
is. So anyway, believe it or not, we got comments. So Carl Wisman is saying, this episode is why edibles should be banned.
No, they
I
should
have to
be
agree.
given to children on Halloween.
All letters of complaints, please send to Brian Rodman at. And Carl, I haven't even delved into them today, and that is sad. Poor lady. Sarah is sympathetic. I have four trade paperbacks of my Love Saga. I thought we were getting measures of how many edibles Sarah's got.
That's
Oh,
what
I
Carl
quit,
thought it
but
was too, was tablespoons.
Yeah. Everyone nervous for a second. So I love Saga from my friends so far. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Great.
And it's easy to take context away from the surroundings and make it hilarious. This whole episode is testimony to that. And Sarah goes, the boys free comic book day issue equals Gun for Kids, Hero-gasm. I love the boys, but that's another one that I think is better consumed as a large, book rather than the individual issues. So, and 4 tablespoons, Sarah. Thank you, Carl. I'm glad it's just not me and Brian. And here we go. Derp. Did I type something, not remember what it was? I'm confuzzled. Oh, Dark Pope. And but I'll just answer it by saying yes without knowing what it's about. There you go, Sarah. Just say yes. That's what we say around here. And teasing Sarah, you had 4 tablespoons of Saga. And this is getting good now. OMG, trade paperbacks. Holy crap, I never put those two together before. And I agree with Rodman Rabbit. So there we go, as we all should. And OMG, I'm freaking crying. I'm laughing at myself so hard. We're laughing at you too, hun, so don't feel bad. Anyway, so we love you, Sarah. And Dawn, why does this... Let's see. Come on, Gal. Why does this type of aura follow me around? I really do try to be an angel. Yeah, and then you were hanging with me all weekend in Peoria. This just doesn't work out. Anyway, what's wrong with this picture? So anyway, and we are caught up with the comments, believe it or not. So who would like to go next?
I could go real quick. Mine's going to be like really quick.
Okay, just enough time to throw it across the room, right?
No, I'm not going to throw it. I'm not going to bother with throwing it.
Oh, cool. Oh, this
He said, not going to bother.
I will not soil my
that's a
finger.
new role.
Yeah, I
He
ain't
said,
touching it because I eat with these hands. Well, then here is Eric S. Hawkins with what may be a very brief review.
So, I picked up Junkyard Joe this week.
Yeah.
Find Junkyard Joe you need to be.
Yay.
Yes.
I think there's only one issue left after that one.
Yes.
I still need to get my full set of Junkyard Joe.
And I picked up this too.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear Clyde's review of it.
Yes.
Yeah, that looked good.
And my shop didn't have the final issue of Vineyard, which finally came out from Aftershock. Brian Hawkins, not related Brian Hawkins, posted that it was coming out this week finally. So I'm going to check the other shop tomorrow when I go to see if they got it. Because I've been waiting like 3 months for the final issue. Well, that's not my fault. That's not Brian's fault. That is the studio putting it out.
I thought maybe the checks hadn't cleared.
Now, this one is what you need to buy if you want to know how not to write a comic book.
Ooh.
Ouch.
So it's my continuing saga of Gospel.
Oh, no.
Which I'm not even going to bother with because it did not change.
Wait. So we still we still haven't found out if it's two midgets in a costume.
No. This one is like probably if you just took all the Hobbit scenes from Lord of the Rings and put them together, it's just people walking.
Ew.
But you do get the tease at the end.
I still think then it's 2 midgets and no, it was 2 children.
The next issue, it looks like the devil's back.
Yes. The devil, aka 2 little rascals in a costume.
Yeah. And this one, once again, did not go to the future or whatever to show that other guy telling the story. So I don't know. So if you want to write comic books and you want to see how not to do it, so you know how to do the exact opposite, go buy Gospel from Image. 0 out of 10.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Dude. Like the
Oh
art
my
even
God.
sucks? I like the art.
The art's okay. It's very consistent, but it's
the
okay.
art's got to at least give it 1 or 2.
If I just rate on art, I'd give it a 6.
There you go.
But
Story-wise, 0.
but
Art's a 6. When the art works, when you can tell what characters what, and they all don't look the same.
So like 2.5.
Actually, the art is a 6, but the story's a -10. So
How are you
still
not?
the crapper.
How are you not throwing this book?
I've already thrown 2 of them, and this is what was this 5 or 4? Jeez, I just keep buying it because it's so fun to.
It's so much airtime. That's why you keep buying it.
Issue 4, so 5's the next. Yeah. Good. Hey, it's coming out on time. So.
So gospel is to Eric like whatchamacallit, Checkmate was to BKL.
Yeah. See, I'm having more fun reading it because how crappy it is. That's stupid. That's stupid. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, Brian, that was just rage-inducing.
Yeah, that was the thing is, Eric has low expectations for this one, whereas I'm like, this is Brian Michael Bendis, one of the greatest authors of the modern comics. Let's read what genius he has. What the hell is that? You know?
Oh no, if Bendis did this, it'd be like a -20. But this guy, as far as I can tell, it's like his first work.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's on issue 4 by now, and it's done by Image. It should be better.
Yeah.
Now, Clyde,
how is it his first work and it's Image? That makes me mad.
Probably has a deep pocket somewhere.
Probably.
Is this the same cover you got, Clyde?
Yeah.
Okay. I reached in. I always reach in and pull like 2 or 3rd one out, and this one was mixed in. I didn't even see it. I was like, "Whoa, okay, I kind of like that one too."
Yeah. Wow. So anyway, more comments. I love you too, Sarah. Mwah. And wow, a 0. Nice. Says Carl Witzman. And dude, you get store credit or cash for the flying comics to get something better. There you go. Which doesn't sound like a long shot. Well, it depends on the comic. You know, if he like trades these in for like Checkmate, I'm gonna have to have a talk with my friend. I may actually have to have an intervention. So anyway. Thank you, Eric, for that memorable.
No problem. Is happy to help.
Yes. Avoid this.
You benefited the community greatly.
There we go. Yes. If you don't want to learn how to write comics properly, pick up for this.
It's our very own public service announcement here at Comic Book Spectrum.
That's right. And we all.
If you want to get paid to write professionally, go to Image.
But sir, I'm only a janitor at a local high school. Doesn't matter. They'll take anybody. Let's do this.
Here I am, a freaking Kickstarter trying to make money.
I know, right?
You know the book Wicked about the Wicked Witch of the West. Do they have a comic book adaptation, or is it not public domain? I'd love to see it in art form. Wicked itself is copyrighted.
Yeah, Wicked is not public domain. That's yeah.
But an even better book that deals with the same characters and has zombies. Zombie for World of Oz, made by
and I have made up names
Hawkins.
for the witches, just like Wicked has made up names for the witches.
There you
That's
go.
true. That's true. But if you want to look up something that uses public domain characters in mythology, pick up a series called Fables.
Ooh, Fables is very, very good.
Fables is excellent. And there's a whole bunch of spin-off titles, but even if you just stick with the main one, it is excellent. Written by Bill Willingham and drawn by Mark Buckingham. It is the story of the various characters from the various fables of legend who are forced out of the fable realm and into our world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's twists and turns. It's a fantastic series.
All I have to say about that is Little Boy Blue.
Yes. The only misstep is I would avoid Batman meets Bigby.
That's what I was going to say. It's all good until they meet Batman.
Yeah. The minute they meet Batman, it starts to
It's DC. Every character that's published by DC has to meet Batman. I mean, Hellboy even met Batman. He's not even DC. Spawn met Batman.
The Predators met Batman.
Yeah, that's right.
The aliens met Batman.
Tarzan has met him, I think.
Dracula met Batman on multiple occasions.
Turtles.
Turtles?
And Turtles,
However,
Turtles.
that was Chef's Kiss. I love the Batman and Ninja Turtles books.
Those were good. Those seriously were good.
Yes.
Elmer Fudd.
That was good. That was good.
That was good. Yeah,
that was good.
Really
I will
good.
give you that one.
That's true. Man. And I almost purchased Zombie Oz. I picked up a couple times with my budget. Saw Santa sign. Well, there we go. See, she picked another book that was excellent, but I'm only going by what other people tell me. And Sarah says, I have a very hard time figuring out Fables and where to start versus other books on it or issue one. Issue one's the best place to start this, Sarah, and you can get it on Comixology or Hoopla, or go to your local public library. They might have a graphic novel section. And Sid says I'm Dawn and Rabbit Holes, and I got the Spawn Batman one shot. I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty good. We reviewed it on the show.
One? There are two. There's one from
that's true. There's
90s.
the one that reprints. There's the one that reprints the book that reprints both of the old issues from the 90s, and then there's the new story. I thought they were all pretty good. So, and Dawn, Santa Sign was a good choice. Thank you, Carl Witzman. I couldn't agree more. But if you do Oz, do Zombie Full Adventures.
Absolutely.
Seriously, it's a fantastic title.
Also, in that book, you may or may not see the cast of Comic Book Spectrum all over that place. All
That's
over
just
that
one,
thing.
because I've never done a self-insertion.
Oh, that's true.
What, you mean mirror?
You know what, Eric? You may that you know of. You've not done one. All I have to say is you smell better when
Joe.
you're asleep.
Yeah, Joe. Well done, Joe. Well done. That's a great book. That is a seriously
It is a really
good
good book.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, seriously, you did a great job on it, buddy.
And I can't show you because my camera's attached to my laptop, but I have Zombie World of Oz stickers all over right here.
Oh,
On the
good.
wall. Yeah, I got my stickers.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put some on my laptop too. And let's see. And whichever was on Brian's table, that would have been the Zombie Full World of Oz. And by the way, Eric, I'm down to 2 copies.
Of the hardback?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, just like in self-insertion green room. Yeah, that's what
I've got more to send, so okay.
Oh, cool. Yes, I don't care for zombies, but Zombie Full World of Oz is great. It's Donna Carlene. And check her out on Lulu and also Carl Witzman on Lulu.com. They have some great books on there that you need to buy. And that's how we roll, Dawn. And I should
take it away. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah. Sarah, stop doing that. Anyway, no, seriously, we love you. And Joe's abandoning us. Oh, you're missing all the fun. Anyway, he's like, no, I'm not. Anyway, how about I do a quick spot
You do a
here?
quickie?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm all for the quickies.
Yep.
Anyway, that's where this show is going. Anyway, folks, I'm Brian K. Morris, available on risingtide.pub and Amazon. And also, I'm writing almost every day a review on our Comic Book Spectrum page on Facebook. If you have not joined it already, please do. We have back episodes of this show, as well as just about every day of the week, there is a brand new comic review. And I missed a day this week somehow. I don't know how, but that's still 6 days of comic book reviews that you can use. And stuff we'll be reviewing in the next few days will include, but are not limited to, Vampire's Carmilla, brand new issue of that, issue 14. Let's go through here. This is a good week for me. The DC catalog, that's, Knights of the Dinner Table, as they run over Cerebus, having just broken his record of 300 issues. This is like the second comic book or independent comic book that I can think of that's actually gone past 300. The first one being Spawn. DC released a replica of Wiz Comics #2 with the very first appearance of Captain Marvel by Bill Parker and C.C. Beck. And who else is in here? Dan Dare, not related to the British science fiction strip. Lance O'Casey. Scoop Smith. No, he doesn't follow cats around. Spy Smasher, his first appearance. Golden Arrow. And Ibis, the Invincible. This is a great, great comic book. You can see where Captain Marvel started. And, of course, My Bad. Still funny. Issue #4, one more to go as we turn a corner with the Emperor King, it looks like. World's Finest as Supergirl and Dick Grayson go out on a date, and it does not go well. Okay. Which was kind of fun, kind of interesting. Superman Space Age, the last issue of this, with the climax of the crisis that happens to his Earth. Really great story. You will enjoy it. What do I think of this one? Check out the website. You'll find out. And also a brand new Superman #1. I will go on record that the only #1 issue of Superman that was better was by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. This is good. Good stuff.
Hey, Brian, really
Yes.
quick, was that Batman and what was it? Batman in Space?
Batman in Space.
Or the the one like two earlier, the first
Mike
Superman.
Allard book.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that the guy that did Madman?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
And Silver
Can't
Surfer.
you tell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mike.
I
Allard.
can. I love his art. It's great.
You'll like it in here. He
Okay.
really does a beautiful. Actually, all of them does his own version of Batman. And I've
Is his
enjoyed
wife
this.
doing the colors or inking?
Mike, I think he was doing the colors. Yeah. Oh no. His wife Laura is doing the colors, and Michael is doing the full art job. I was thinking of somebody else that it's a husband-wife team. They did like Adventure Man, and like he penciled and colored, and she inked it. So I think, but anyway, it's very good. It's got an alternate version of the Justice League of America. It includes Dead Man and the Doom Patrol and everybody. It's just
that's
a fun book, and it's very. It reminds me a lot of, and we'll be launching a review of it soon. Of the Fantastic Four book that Mark Russell wrote that followed the FF as if it were in real time.
Nice.
I think Clyde maybe had a review of that. I think Clyde, was
Yep.
that you?
Yep.
Yeah, that was genius stuff. This is really, really good too. So definitely you'll be seeing those reviews on our Comic Book Spectrum page on Facebook. Please check it out. Please give it a like, and tune in every day and see what kind of new goodies we have on there for you. So that's the end of my plug for that. And let's see. Here we go. Okay, Sarah. I'm so sorry, not sorry, but uncertain, so sorry maybe. Well, sorry maybe, you have nothing to apologize for. This is what keeps the show going. And every evening seemed less formal. I was using my filter too. And Sarah has been triple filtered for purity. It didn't work. And Donna says, Sarah has a filter? Who are you and what have you done with the real Sarah? So, she has no more filter than I do, so we know where that's going. But anyway, Joe, you ready to do some reviewing?
I'm more along the lines. I don't know how we're going to get past a lot of this because the book that was chosen, I just came to a realization that it is a not safe for work book.
Oh.
But it is one of the ones that was selected by Comic Book Phone, and hopefully, if Mr. Celestri is still here, this was the thing that I was really working on while I was pretty much listening to everybody else. This is the main character to his book here, at least done in my rendition of it, to be quite honest here. And to make a long story short, the book that was selected for this week is, and I have to be tactful with this. This is, I forgot. Green screen.
The artwork is very blue.
I saw right through it.
I keep forgetting green screen. There we go. Now we can see. Now we can see things in its proper essence here, with some tactful placement. We got Bloodwing Angel #2 from John Celestri, up under his brand of Johnny's Mind, which is the 17+ rated books here. There's a reason why this finger is there over the cover. However, it's a really fold out cover here, so it's more along the lines like that.
Good luck, Joe.
Yeah, so pretty much if you have not seen my review of issue #1, where have you been? How come you have not been watching From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher? Because I talked about this book.
When's that on,
before.
Joe?
Huh?
When's that on?
Oh, that's on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this week, we're going to take kind of like a little bit of break from production and everything. We're going to have a game night. So we're going to be playing a couple of different video games and just chilling out and talking here.
Hashtag always promote.
But to give you a better scope of what this book is about, we have the angel Michael, or Michael, or however you want to spell it, however you want to pronounce it, but it is spelled Mychal. But it's really Michael. Actually being tossed to Earth. And it's kind of like a pawn in this good versus evil game that Michael is not aware of. So in issue number 1, he gets tossed to Earth. He's pretty much trying to figure out why he was, tossed from the heavens the way that he did. And he finally arrives on Earth, and he arrives outside of this one city where they have like this one big barrier. And the first thing that he meets is, if you understand angels are both sex at the same time. So I could say he or she at any given time, doesn't matter. They have both orientations all at the same time. So Michael pretty much is there, and he's trying to figure out what was really going on, what actually happened, why he was tossed and everything. He comes across a couple of demons, and he's doing what he's known for. And then he realized that he's not at full power, but he still has enough power to generate a flaming sword from his finger. So he pretty much does what he does, slays the beast, feasts for a bit, and tries to figure out where he's at in this one land. While at the same time, you have this one family who hears this big commotion in the city that's on the other side of the wall. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They have one of their sons who's normally stationed there at the wall kind of like look into it, or made him aware that it's like, hey, something had happened and everything to that magnitude. And we get a little bit more backstory about some of the evils that could happen in that particular series. So we get issue number 2. Issue number 2 furthers the journey of Michael, where he figures out it's like, okay, fine. He finally lands on Earth, but yet he's on the one side of the barrier where all the demons and evil spirits are at, and that's what these monsters and stuff actually represents on this cover. So Michael is kind of like, trapped between a rock and a hard place as far as this is concerned. So he's finding, a whole slew of demons on this outer skirt of the wall and everything, and he finds a way to escape the wall. And then when he makes this escape, we actually see that he is picked up by the son of a gospel store where they sell gospel, memorabilia, Bibles and stuff to that magnitude. And he works for the city as far as one of the planners who maintains this wall or this barrier. So after, he kind of in his eyes, he saved her from whatever was going on because he really couldn't see it. But at the same time, Michael could see that he's of good nature because, this one image appears above him showing Michael that his spirit is clean and just and pure, that he does not have any ill intentions and everything. So he kind of gives Michael a quick overview of what the wall is, and it's like he makes certain that he tells her about the barrier and everything. We find out that the wall is made up of this specialized compound called blood plaster. However, we don't get into the context of what blood plaster is and everything. And he gets into this a little bit of a story. He gets a little bit braggadocious and everything, and then the thing about him being pure disappears, and that's how how Michael knows that he was kind of like not being 100% honest, not really lying, but being braggadocious and whatnot. So he kind of feels that Michael was not impressed and everything, but the way that he, all the vibrations and stuff that he sees it as just like explosions like that. However, Michael actually sees the actual demons itself. So Michael was trying to tell him, was like, well, I climbed the wall. I had to climb the wall. And it was like pointing to where Michael was using his finger to, bore, little bit handfuls into the wall where he could climb up. So meanwhile, while they're still looking over the wall, we get to see how the demons are just going after one after another. That it's really like a land of chaos on the other side of that barrier. And this is where we finally get the first look at the evil entity that was partially to blame for Michael being tossed to Earth here. And he's looking down from the heavens, trying to figure out what's going on. And then that's when Josh tells her, and this is where we kind of have to skip by, because like I said, not for work type graphics there, about the theory that it was, that they used the other side of the wall for like maiden sacrifices and all this other stuff. And he's up here thinking it's like, maybe you were put there because you was a maiden sacrifice. And Michael is like, no, that can't be right, and pretty much Michael decides, like, you know what, let me just tell him the truth. I'm an angel. And Michael's like, yeah, yes, you are, this, that, and the other. A very beautiful lady. It's like, no, I really am an angel. It's like Josh doesn't like really believe him. But that's when we finally get more context about what was going on about the game of gods, the game of good and evil. And the two guys are talking to one another about, the morals, and how the whole thing is that they're trying to pit Michael against one side versus the other. That, angels are no different than demons in that aspect, and that he could perverse Michael to a degree to do his bidding. Therefore, the major game of how Michael's journey on Earth begins. Which side will he choose? And that's how issue number 2 ends up. Now, there's a lot of things that I couldn't show here in this book that will make a lot more sense after you read issue number 1. And I like how the story is progressing per se. Not really giving you too much of a story, but giving you enough where you can understand where the character's motivations lies at. And right now, Michael is still learning about this world. Michael don't know about the contest that's going on between good and evil, or what is the representation of God and the devil. But right now, Michael is learning what is, the lay of the land, or the rules of what's happening at this point in time. And what I feel that as we go on to like issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, we're going to see more of the character growth of Michael through the eyes of not only Michael himself, but through the other characters, both good and evil. So with that being stated, I will go ahead and give Bloodwing Angel number 2 a 9 out of 10.
Ooh, wow, that's good.
Yep.
Really?
It's like I wasn't thinking about it until after. I was like, oh yeah, I can't really go through the book because it is not safe for work graphics there.
Well done. Thank you for keeping us on the air. Very cool. And we've got some comments. Let's see here. We were talking about Sarah's filter earlier, and she's come to the conclusion that yes, it malfunctioned, and she's got a placebo filter, not the real thing. And I have to have a filter at work that malfunctions there too. And plug yourself. I've never seen your show, from the desk of a small press publisher. You need to change that. It'll be a highlight of your week. And there is the link for from Carl Witzman. Thank you, Carl. Mm-hmm. And let's see, here we go. And BKM and Cookie saw a few books of that style of having both parts and the fun with it. Shrinks and goes back to the green room. And as always, we want to remind you, we're not obeying it, but we do remind you of it. But anyway, and let's see, here we go. Oh, we just had another comment up, and thanks, Carl. And let's see, I better look at this for. Okay, love for the hails. I saw holes at first, and
Wow.
yeah, it's like I'm primed now. But anyway, check out our GoFundMe to help Amy and John Hale. We have raised over $2,500. We've got a long way to go, but every dollar helps. These are two dear friends of all of us that have met with some serious medical issues and have a serious medical bill to as a result. And so anything you can send from $5 on up would be a huge, huge help. Please, please consider the Hales and check out that GoFundMe, and you'll see the full story of it on that page. So please do. And Sarah, subscribe. Thank you. And where are the Hales with their bills now, or do we know much right now? We know much. And like I said, they are still getting some bills. Amy has got some ongoing issues, and the $30,000, frankly, will not be enough, but it will help a whole hell of a lot, actually, if we can raise all that money. So please, if you haven't already, please give something. You also see the crawl across the bottom of the screen with the address, or contact me and I'll send you a link. All right. And here we go. And Sarah says, I wanted to. Let's see, hold on, let's do this right. I wanted to slap the medical field for putting that into collections. Still want to, but restrain myself about a lot of things. Well, restraint is good, especially when you buy them at a reasonable price. And $25.25 for the Hales Online, but plus whatever gas cards, etc., that people might have sent. Yes, and I still owe 2 hours of broadcast of Clever Title pending as a result of this. So please, please be generous. And Sarah, damn it, the ambulance ride was meant to put that in. That says, for the love of God, what the hell, my brain is fried. I didn't even enjoy it. It was whatever it was that fried it. But we are enjoying it, though, Sarah. You know, remember, Sarah, anyone can laugh at others, but it takes someone very special to laugh at, anyone can laugh at themselves, but it takes someone special to laugh at others. And spectacular. And I love that you're always on top of everything when I actually brain enough to ask something at any random time. We try. And wow, BKM says, Carl, I am behaving tonight, saving it up for the green room tomorrow night. And you're primed for the love of the holes, BKM, dear Lord, trying to zip lips, top set, dang it. I'm trying, Sarah. You're being a bad influence on me. I've got to find someone to blame. You're welcome. Anyway, so we are through the comments, and not a moment too soon, it seems. So now we all like
gold standard. Feel
the energy in the air building up.
My wallet becomes suddenly lighter.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Yes, Clyde.
Cookie
would like to have a word with you, Clyde. Meanwhile, I'll be in HR if you need me. But anyway, here he is. He's been quiet this evening, but now he is going to unleash his wit and wisdom and humor upon you all. Be prepared to wash yourself in the holy waters of Clyde Hall.
We are on a real spiritual kick tonight, aren't we?
I am washing myself with Clyde right now.
I got a preview issue from my local comic book shop of Mad Cave's Exorcists Never Die.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it is a very nice cover, and the artwork is good. That local comic book shop is Colossus Comics and Games in Mount Vernon, Illinois. So thank you, Comic Shop, for supplying this preview issue. But it is something, as I'm reading it, I'm like, man, this is something that Brian Rodman would have written. Definitely would like, I think.
Right.
Steve Orlando is the writer.
Oh, he's good.
And it is a very interesting exploration of spiritual adventure. It just happens to be that in this world, exorcists, it's kind of an odd future world, maybe. Exorcists go out and they do say that they slap around demons and bad things. And they are able to call upon specific angels and their powers to do it.
Oh, that's fun.
It is a very cool concept. It's a little slow to start, and it's got a lot of like backstory stuff to it, and you're like, okay, all right, okay. And then you get where the artistry of the angels in choosing who they're going to channel comes into play.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about Mad Cave, but I really I like this issue. So but I thought of you, Brian, and you might want to check it out. I think it's coming out in a couple of months because this is way early.
Yeah.
But
I'll keep an eye out for it. Thanks.
yeah. I also, good things I got this week. My local comic book shop also pulled this out of a collection that came through.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All villain issue. Yes. And even the back cover is wonderful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps we should tell what that was.
I'm
for
sorry.
Context. No, that's fine.
This
you know
is
how I am.
The Amazing World of DC Comics. It was kind of like Foom was to Marvel. This was a direct sales thing for DC in the 70s. And they, as Brian kind of filled in gaps for me, some of their woodchuck talents would put this together. And they would normally have a theme, and this one is all villains. So you got a retrospective on Eclipso. You've got the Secret Society of Supervillains there with Manhunter.
Nice.
Yeah,
This was an alternate version, the original version of Secret Society of Supervillains #1 that never got printed.
Yeah.
It got a page 1 rewrite, and then we saw the other version. But this is the only time we have seen this in print.
Right. So lots of good behind the scenes stuff like that. I never subscribed. I did subscribe to Foom for a while, but I never subscribed to this, so I haven't seen a lot of the issues. But we also have this week Darkwing Duck #2 with Quacker Jack making his appearance in there. This one, I like this one a lot better than the first issue. The first issue, Joe, did you ever get to read the first issue?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Issue 1. if I could say it this way, it was written like it was an episode of the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
But it does not, if I could say it this way, it doesn't delve into the lore of Darkwing Duck the way that I would like for it to delve into. There's a lot of things that they could have brought back from the original series, or could have taken off from what they have done recently in cartoon continuity with the new DuckTales. But they went back to the old 90s series, but it falls somewhere in between. But it doesn't feel like it's brand new, but it also doesn't feel like it's complete either.
It's a shallow dive.
A lot of stuff to me.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of a shallow dive into the 90s. It's not bad, but the two things that really got me, and I didn't want to say it until after Joe had read it, and spoilers, if you don't want to hear this, folks, then turn down your volume for a minute or two.
La 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 la.
The first issue had the unveiling of a statue in St. Canard honoring Darkwing Duck. The whole thing is built around that. We never see it. We never get to see the statue, which is a small point, I suppose. But if you're going to build the whole event around something, kind of want to see it. Also, we have Megavolt as the main villain. Cool. Mm-hmm. He's well presented. He vanishes. We don't see him escape, get arrested. We don't know. He's gone. It's gone. And that bugged me because the cartoon, I always expect to see they get away, or maybe it's I thought maybe it's continued. It's not.
No, it's not continued. It's just like once the people broke out of whatever mind-numbing zapping that they had from their devices, it's like, oh, we're just going to go right to the mega happy ending.
Yeah. And that was just, like I said, it felt like they had a 33-page story and 32 pages to tell it. So it was a little odd, but
it felt like it felt like the cartoon series, except for less polished, if I could say it that way. Like you said, we didn't have the Megavolt saying, "I will get you next time," or like you said, the whole thing about the statue. I was okay with it because that's kind of like a running theme with Darkwing Duck. It's like, oh yeah, they about to do something special for me, and never comes through.
I guess
I gotta get that. I gotta get that. I thought, yeah, that's a running joke. Yeah, okay, I get it. But I didn't think about that in that same aspect. It's like,
a couple of panels.
Right about that they should have showed it.
A couple panels would have just tied it all up nicely, and it would have felt even more like an episode. It was not bad, but I just kind of felt that the second issue, I think they did a better job. It is continued, So they present a problem and then they're going to continue it next issue, which I think is probably a good way to go as they are writing it in the way they are. So we also got Junkyard Joe number 4. Yes, sir. That was my second favorite read this week. It was really, really good.
That was amazing.
Cannot wait to see how they wind this up.
Oh,
I don't want
the
to
last
end.
panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
yeah. Where you're going more because there's got to be more in here. It was really good. So I've enjoyed every issue, and it's I will be there first in line to get it next month when the final issue of the title comes out.
Yeah, they listed the credits about almost halfway through the book on a splash
Right.
page, and then I'm going, "It's over already? It's
Yeah.
over?"
Yeah. But this has been highly anticipated. James Tynion, Blue Book, and I tried to sign up for Comics Beat to review it, and they're like, "No, we got too many people already. Get ahead of you." And this was like 10 minutes after they posted the thing. I was like, well, "Okay,
Wow.
fine." So I thought, well, I'll do it on my other show then. So, and I read it, and yeah, I was like, "Yeah, definitely, this is up our alley," because it's less about comics and more about cryptids and things like that. Which splitting those kind of hobbies and interests. It's a good thing, and Tynion is good. The art, I think he's chosen brilliantly for the artists for this. So I'll show you the artwork first of all, because it's in 2 different sections. And the first section, it's illustrated by Michael Avon Oming, and I thought that he did some really good captures of a spirit. The first one is about Betty and Barney Hill, a famous UFO case, kind of the Roswell of UFO abduction cases, as somebody described it in one of the reviews. So,
Ooh, I like that full page.
yeah. And they don't waste a lot of space in here, but they do use it effectively, especially Oming. Yeah, it's very nice. He manages to capture that terror and suspense of people that don't know what's happening to them. I like the build up here of tension.
I love the colors.
Yeah. And yeah. Boom. Trying to get the reflection off there, but yeah, that's creepy stuff.
That's a lot better a lot more suited to his style of artwork than that World of Krypton he did a few months ago.
I thought the same thing. I think that he was an excellent choice for this. Now, we follow that up in the second half with a strange occurrence at Coney Island in 1880. It is drawn by Klaus Jensen. Look at that.
Ooh.
Isn't that lovely? Completely different style. Fits the story beautifully, I thought. Get a little history on Coney Island, good and bad.
Oh, that's cool.
And we get a cryptid kind of guy that I had, if I've ever heard of him, I've never heard of him enough for it to register and to be remembered. But,
that was a fun sentence.
Well, they said, well, this is a fairly common case. And I'm like, but really? Because it's a one-time thing, although it's one of several sightings, I guess. But Coney Island and Jersey sightings of this thing in 1880, I don't remember ever hearing. Mothman, yeah, some of those, yeah. This one, not so much, but that would make you remember it if you looked up in the sky and saw that going over you in 1880.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's a normal
it's Merman
Tuesday.
from He-Man.
It does kind of look like that, doesn't it? So it's in 2 sections. It's called Blue Book. It's the first issue, 1 of 5, Dark Horse Comics and Tiny Onion imprint, $3.99, written by James Tynion IV, and art is by Michael Avon Oming and Klaus Jensen. The letters by Aditya Bidikar. I believe both of the artists did their own colors on both of those. So when you said the Oming section had good colors, I think you can credit him for that. I write for various sites, and this is my own independent feature, so it shouldn't be considered representing any views except mine, not Comic Book Spectrum or any others. James Tynan IV is a busy writer, and this has the feeling of a pet project, and he calls it his True Weird Stories vehicle. And Blue Book number 1 lives up to that description very nicely. There are accounts reported as fact, but regarding unusual, unexplained, and even cryptid encounters in it. So issue 1 presents the Zeta Reticuli incident, better known as the Betty and Barney Hill UFO abduction case from 1961. It is very well documented and much examined UFO case that's become a measurement of all other close encounters of the third kind accounts. The couple were traveling in rural New Hampshire in an overnight drive, returning home from a short vacation to Niagara Falls and Montreal, when they experienced what they later claimed was abduction and examination by extraterrestrial beings. Betty and Barney, they were very well-educated, white-collar professionals. They had no overt interest in flying saucers, and they were active members of church, and they were volunteers in their community's civil rights movement. Betty was a social worker. Barney was a postal employee and a chairman for his local NAACP. In short, they're really grounded people in their careers and in their aspirations, and not given to flights of fancy. And that makes their account compelling. It always has made it a very compelling and interesting case. The first half of the issue is comprised of the initial part of their experience. And the second half deals with another kind of unidentified flying object entirely, that case of the 1880s Flying Man of Coney Island. Now, it's based on an alleged sighting of a man in dark attire and with a determined expression spotted flying over Coney Island in daylight hours on September Day in 1880. Articles appeared in newspapers of the time, although the tone of the writer suggests in the initial reporting that he truly believed it to either be a hoax or maybe he was just feeling silly writing about such a thing. Similar reports, however, took place in other parts of the country over several years, and some of them kind of corroborate what they reported seeing here, so you're left not really knowing how valid it was, especially given the time period. The human flyer was wearing a stern and disgruntled expression, so definitely a man, allegedly had mechanical type wings, and witnesses described something like a steampunk aeronaut come to life. He also reportedly had frog-like legs, and his feet were supposed to have been webbed, and he swam through the air in an almost frog-like fashion. This section is an examination of Coney Island in that era as a place of marvels and misdeeds and never lacking in fuel for the imagination. So the good stuff, Tynan sticks just with what was reported in both these cases, especially regarding the hills. He doesn't make any judgments, or he doesn't try to plumb for veracity or validity. He doesn't try confirming or embellishing on what was experienced. And this allows the artist to have exceptional latitude in expressing the weirdness of these reported events. Michael A. Van Oming instills the Hill account with a proper level of ominous tension and terror. Klaus Jensen, he lends an oddly dreamy element to that unparalleled American possibility in the tale of the bizarre airborne man. Aditya Bidkar's letters, he keeps everything report structured in that first half, and it's crisp. He goes into musings of the second half with a misty kind of quality that fits, and he doesn't forget to give sweet little Delcy, the Hills Doxy, a voice too. And so kudos for that. The bad. Okay, the title, Blue Book. That alludes to Project Blue Book. It was an operation by the United States Air Force regarding UFOs. And that applies very much to the Hill case, not so much for the Coney Island flying humanoid incident. For avid students of the Barney and Betty Hill abduction case, this is very rudimentary stuff. So if you know a lot about that, this is probably not going to tell you anything you don't know or be very satisfying to you. The takeaways. That said, it's a really good introduction to one of the groundbreaking cases of alleged alien interaction. So if you don't know much about it, this is a great way to pique your curiosity, and there's plenty of other material out there to dive into for more on the account. Added bonus, the Coney Island guy. That story led me to a very similar account in my own hometown in 1897, as reported by none other than the mayor himself then. So now I got new things to research and write about. So for that alone, Blue Book number 1 earns my Close Encounter of the 7.5 out of 10 kind rating.
Oh, most excellent.
Right.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I do
yeah,
have one correction to make.
What's that?
No, that's nothing what you did, but
Ah.
it's correction on my review. It was actually book 3, not book 2.
Oh,
It was issue 3.
okay.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for setting that straight. And reply from John Celestri himself, Joe D, not safe for work is my middle name.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde, I'll say I almost did not pick up Blue Book because of the closet.
Ah, yeah.
I was like, I don't know. That closet really sucked.
Mhm.
But I'm glad I picked it up.
It's real. If you've read those sorts of things before, you may have come across stories like this already. But the art lends the whole thing of Coney Island goes way off away from the sighting and talks about the character of that location, the hope that it gave the immigrants that first experienced America through Coney Island. It's very, very well done. I thought
so too. Yeah. I thought this is not a slight against it, but I thought it had a very indie feel to it.
Yeah, it
Well,
does.
actually, just watching your review and looking at the book itself, I thought that too.
Mhm.
Definitely has an indie feel.
In an indie feel in a good way, not a bad
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Well, first of all, it's real and it's in someone's hands. That's a good indie thing.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Yeah, these are all comics professionals. One with 60 years in the business, really, and they're doing stuff that this is not a DC or Marvel thing. This is really indie feeling, and like you say, in a very good way.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds like I need to put that on my list. So, Cookie will be talking to you soon. Anyway, thank you, Clyde. And we've got some more. We've got some more comments here. And yes, Sarah, you and I do enable each other. And I love it too. And we're going to jump through a few here. Sarah met some new friends, and let's see. And Sarah used to be painfully shy. Now she's like me; she's overcompensating for it. And yeah, there we have it. And Parallax Spectre has joined us. That's not World's Finest 214. Boo, she says. Mwah. It's a good book, though. It's a super, super book. Like I was telling Clyde, every issue had something different. And a number of the people that worked on it went on to major roles at DC, or outside of DC, like Paul Kupperberg, Jack C. Harris, and Michael Uslan.
Michael Uslan put this one together. He was kind of the brainchild behind that.
Yeah, and for people who don't know, he's written comic books. He's shepherded the DC Stan Lee series, and he's also been the executive producer of virtually every Batman film and cartoon in the last 30 years.
And Parallax, last week I did have World's Finest 214 on here to show my reader copy that I got.
Yeah, there can only be one though. So anyway, everyone's saying hello to Leia, and let's see here. And I finally got to hear a whole Clyde review. See, when we come for 2 hours, it happened. Yay! Exactly. And Dawn Duda says I'm not safe for working. So anyway, me either. Oh, but Clyde's worth waiting for. So, and I know you and Donna are probably going to head over to Stupid O'Clock. Glad you guys were here, and we'll see you soon. And everybody, just let you know, if you're watching us live, there is something on StreamYard and Facebook again are like this. So if we should go out after the 2-hour mark, come over to our YouTube channel under the Brian K. Morris Rising Tide channel and come watch the rest of the show because we still have some left to go. And you too, Carl. You and Donna both. Love you guys. Glad to see you guys in Peoria. That was so great. They drove like 2 hours to come see us.
Oh,
yeah, that was really nice of them. But anyway, we have a segment for tonight. We do, and we're going to launch into that right now. Bleeding Cool I like the site more than I don't. It's a rumor site. But the difference between it and other rumor sites is that Rich Johnson generally checks out the stories. And every now and then he does some deep dives into some things that are happening in the industry that are not splendid, let's say. Like possible kickbacks happening at DC concerning the latest big event. But anyway, they did have a really good one here. Dan Didio, who was the DC publisher for more than 10 years and then spent a few years as co-publisher with Jim Lee, he gave a recent interview with the Comics Journal, which now survives as an online magazine. And he talks about his current work with Frank Miller's publishing efforts and all. And I probably should have put this on the screen somehow, but he goes on to talk about his days at DC. He talks about variant covers, and I want to read here. I think they might be at the final tipping point now, because the word I hear is that books are approved with variant covers in mind. It's not even variant covers as an accelerant for sales. It's now part of the equation for the profitability of a product, which means it's a really dangerous trap. So that's why if I ship our books down to no variants, at least I know what my bottom line is. I know the bottom of my audience, what my true readership is, and it's a lot easier to plan when you understand what you're really, really working for, rather than what you're sort of pretend selling at the moment. And all the people that are building on variant, their answer now is to add more covers, which is the complete opposite direction. The ship's upside down. You don't go to the top because the top's underwater. And he also goes on to talk about how we lost 2 generations of comic fans because we didn't have newsstand distribution, because that was kind of like the gateway for a lot of people, myself, probably most of us here. Then he goes into the numbers here, and that's math. And like Barbie said, math is hard. But basically he says the bottom line is that the industry is scared or lazy. Lazy meaning I've got this built-in easy access to an audience that pretty much buys everything, no matter what they complain, how much they complain. So therefore we can just create for them and sort of sit back and relax. Scared is I'm afraid to try anything new because I don't know what's out there in terms of an audience. Maybe there isn't anything out there, and if it doesn't work, we're done. And he goes on to talk about having a wider range of comics than just superheroes. And he talked about how he made it an edict that you can't have 30% of your line associated to just one character. And in this case, he talked about Batman.
What?
Amen.
What do you
mean?
What do you mean you can't have an entire publishing company dedicated to one character out of hundreds?
What?
Good night, everybody.
He said it's like good night. What is that? Anyway, Joe leave?
No, I'm playing with you guys. I'm not going to.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm not going to feed into the Batman love.
Oh no, I agree.
Well, that's fine.
What?
Yeah. Well, you compared it and his shirt with that beautiful classic logo on it.
I just wanted to say I agree with that. He's so overdone right now. But I am a Batman fan. I'm not hating on him because I don't like Batman. I'm hating on him because it's like I love Salisbury steak. I don't want it every day.
I think if you are a Batman fan, you're upset that they're just milking the character for more than what it's worth. I mean, like the character is everywhere, and it's getting really old. It's getting really old.
Yeah. The biggest Batman fans I know are like, please give me something else.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's the problem, because a person like me who is not a Batman fan has been relegated to, I finally got my Nubia series, but yet it's relegated to a limited series. Not just one, multiple limited series. Same thing with Yara Floor. Had her own series, got canceled, and then you gave her another two issue limited series. Now I'm sitting up here like twiddling my thumbs as she makes special appearances in Wonder Woman and all these other books. And it's like, no, it's like, that these books sell, but they're not selling in greater quantities like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
They are afraid to fall on their face with IPs that have been known to be tried and true. I mean, Wonder Woman family is a prime example. Why can't they have another attempt at, Challengers of the Unknown or Doom Patrol or, Black Hawks or all of these forgotten, all of these forgotten IPs
Doom Patrol is
that they have control over.
Back, so.
But yeah, it's like, we're going to take the safe bet. Everybody loves Batman. Let's give Batman and his whole rogues gallery their own books. It's like, how much Harley Quinn can you put out?
Yeah.
How much Batman can you put out?
And action figure line. The new DC Universe Marvel or McFarlane figures.
Yeah.
Every assortment is about 3 Batman.
The Infinity Crisis.
Batman, one other figure.
The Infinity Crisis and Harriet. I just can't.
I mean, really, like when Batman. Okay, so when the Batman came out, or it was announced with Robert Pattinson, everybody was Robert Pattinson can't be Batman.
That makes some issues with the internet.
I was like, look, like, I don't care. I think Pattinson will do a great job. We don't need another Batman movie, and now we're gonna have another Batman movie that's not Pattinson. It's gonna be the Brave and the Bold, which is cool that they're actually gonna do the Bat family. And Damian Wayne's finally going to see screen time. Like, I think that's cool. But my goodness, like, how many Batman are we going to end up with by the time we all join hands across America?
Well, in the Flash movie, you're going to get 2 Batman.
Well, I'm excited about that. But I mean,
yeah.
Okay, personally, I'm excited about that. But I get it, right? Like, we shouldn't have this many Batman actors portraying the same character, doing the same stories, because I'll tell you, as much as I love the Batman, it's pretty much the same thing that Christopher Nolan gave us. I mean, it is. It's a little different, slightly. I mean, I like it. I think Pattinson, and this is gonna hot take, I think Pattinson's a better Batman than Bale was, but I think we didn't need this. Like, we didn't need the Batman last year when it came out, or 2 years ago, whenever it came out. Like, we don't need another Batman movie. We don't need another Batman anything right now. Give the man a rest for a bit, So I don't know. And this is coming from like a huge Batman
still
fan.
greenlit a second movie.
No, I mean, I get why they're
second
doing
Batman
it.
movie.
A musical?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, wait. It's the Joker.
That's the Joker. Yeah. Where Lady Gaga is now.
Well, they also have a second Joker movie too. So
yeah. And
don't get me started.
It's just milking the teats, guys. That's all it is.
Yeah, but the teats are dry now.
Oh, the teats have been dry.
I thought
Pattinson
was a horrid Bruce Wayne.
And if you've ever tried to use dry bat teats, you know that's just not. It's not fun.
That's the real problem. The teats are not dry.
Trying to kill that's the issue.
They're not dry as of yet because people are still spending money on it.
Yeah.
And I think as far as the problem lies at.
Character
there's no ideas left in the teats.
Yes. That's it. Is character originality, saying something new, all that is just
and if it's money teats, it's greed milk, and we saw in Star Wars that doesn't work. We don't want to see that again.
We don't want greed milk
in the teats. That's going to be a t-shirt. That's a sticker, Rodman. Rodman's going to make a sticker as soon as he leaves here.
Yep. Make sure your
Eric launches a whole new line of coffee cups now.
Oh man, no, I mean I totally.
He has a good section. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I agree that Batman is, we are oversaturated, and I think I myself am feeling Batman fatigue. As a huge Batman fan, even though I'm ecstatic about seeing Keaton again in The Flash, we don't need another Batman anything. So yeah, I agree with Dan Didio.
And getting back to the comic Yeah, and getting back to the comics, Didio made a good point about the economics of it. That we are, there's no price point now for a casual audience. Even if there was a place to have a casual audience find comics anymore, because I know I found mine at a local mom and pop store, and I bought them in supermarkets and at bookstores for years. And I think Clyde would have been the same way. Probably Eric, Joe, maybe you.
To a certain degree, yes.
Your first comics were like a newsstand or whatever. Yeah, and what about you, Brian?
It's like
my first comics,
the Walgreens and stuff of that magnitude. So yes.
Yeah, my first comics I got at a grocery store. Yeah,
grocery stores.
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Drugstores.
Didio said this. Didio said that, but really, wasn't he part of the problem? Because he didn't just leave. He was at DC for a long time when they were putting out tons of variants, taking stuff out of mom and pop stores and only putting them in specialty shops. So, I mean, why didn't he use this mentality back when he was at DC?
Well, but wasn't he the reason that DC did a Walmart run?
Yeah, Wednesday Comics.
Yeah,
he was part of that. Yeah,
so I mean that's
Gen 5. He says in where he tried to limit the number of. He said he was trying to limit the number of variant issues because the idea is that you sell these variant issues.
Yeah. Okay.
Am I having? Okay, I'll just.
No, you just
you do keep freezing up.
Freezing up. Sometimes we hear you and you're not moving, and sometimes
I think Eric was just making sure he wasn't having a stroke.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I've had a lot of coffee today. I thought it might be me. See, now I wonder if he's playing with us.
I
don't think he's frozen.
No.
Okay.
No.
Uh-oh.
You guys keep dropping out on me. So go ahead and talk. Right. Go ahead and talk. You guys talk. I'm not going to contribute.
Clyde, what do you think?
I thought he made good points about you have a dwindling audience and they're just too afraid to do anything different because they don't want to risk what they've got. And they'd much rather just put their feet up and go, well, we'll get down to the core audience. We can still rely on that to make us some money. Even if they complain, every day of the year, they'll still buy it. Yeah. So why should we risk? But if we don't have the risk, you're not going to grow an audience. So I thought he understands whether he contributed to the problem or not. Now that he's not with one of the big ones, at least he can step back and see it, kind of call it out for what it is. Maybe he saw it before, but couldn't call it out for what it was. And because that paycheck for a CEO, is, you don't want to risk that. So, but
I wonder.
He got ousted before he
that's true.
Something. Because remember, everybody keeps forgetting about Gen 5.
Yeah.
It was his idea to be like, you know what? Let's have a smaller run. Let's test the waters to not really push the boundaries, but to progress everything. Mm-hmm. All the mantles being pushed to other characters, and we get to see another generation of DC heroes in a newer future, like for the younger generation to latch onto. Again, having a Batman that is no longer Bruce Wayne, having a Wonder Woman that is no longer Diana Prince, and all these other characters, so on and so on and so forth. That was a brilliant idea.
Right.
However, because of the other money situation, because of creative not being able to meet demand, and that's still going on today with rotating creative teams, especially at DC. One of the reasons why Wonder Girl was canceled up on the yard floor, it wasn't because the book wasn't selling, it was more because they felt that people were hitting deadlines, and people weren't hitting deadlines because you had a rotating creative team. So there's nobody that was dedicated to a project.
And I remember him taking a lot of heat because of the Walmart thing. Unlike before, you have local comic book shops, mom and pop, brick and mortar stores going, wait a minute, you're giving Walmart like exclusives? What the heck? you've got the competition between Walmart. At the time, I said Walmart doesn't really need a whole lot more business. They seem to be doing quite well. The local comic book shops do, but again, there's that access problem. So I don't know what
Well, again, the local comic book shop has to deal with the distribution model. Again, doing research. If you do a research, DC was part of the problem with the whole direct marketing aspect that made Diamond a monopoly. That also played a factor, but nobody wants to talk about that aspect for the local comic book stores. So when they went to Walmart, it looks like they was, snubbing them, but in the bigger scheme of things, it was just smart business, because even if they gave the comic book shop that exclusive, they still have to go through the same formula with Diamond. They still have to do the same distribution. With Walmart, it's completely separate. It was something that could have been a surefire thing if Walmart played ball.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I feel like the only thing, because DC, and I don't want to sound like anti-corporate America guy, but DC is such a corporation and corporate minded that they're always going to go after the mighty dollar first. And Marvel's the same way. Image is the same way to an extent. I mean, you've got, when you reach a certain level of business, that has to be your focus. And Batman sells no matter what. Batman sells. Everybody loves Batman. He's really cool, and he is really cool. I think the biggest problem is, I think the only way it's going to stop, and we're going to get a more variety of characters getting more of the spotlight, is if people stop buying Batman books, which I don't know that will ever happen, because it hasn't happened in over 80 years. It's only gotten more popular. So I think a lot of it will just come down to people like me who just get tired of DC altogether and Marvel altogether, because it's the same thing over and over again. And even though you love these characters and they hold a special place in your heart, I can't go back to, there being 47 books that I have to pay attention to, and most of them are Batman, and it's just, it feels so, it all feels so oversaturated, but also like there's nothing really left to tell with these characters. And yet you refuse to introduce anybody new and really take the spotlight off of these characters. And I'm at a place in my life where if I'm invested in a story, I want an ending that's going to be satisfying. And these DC and Marvel can't give you that, because they're just going to keep the ball rolling. There isn't an ending. There's an ending, and then it all reboots again.
And sometimes they'll give you a limited series with an ending that does satisfy, but sometimes. it's real hit and miss, and it's few and far between compared to that avalanche that, as you guys know from my reviews, I just will not. I don't. I get a Nightwing book. That's the closest I've got to a regular Batman read, because I'm just not gonna. Now, if I read a good review of something, I'll go back and get it as a TPB. But
I want to bring a different perspective on that line of thinking that Rodman had. And the different perspective is, I don't think it's going to take people to stop buying it. I think it's going to take those corporations to give up the IP itself, and those that still have the intellectual rights to the properties.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know all the legalities behind some of these IPs. I know at one time Wonder Woman is pretty much only thing that it takes for the Marston family to get the rights back is for DC not to print Wonder Woman for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
that's all it takes. Same thing with Superman. Superman, there's clauses in those contracts that DC has to adhere to keep the rights to it. Now, if you truly think about it, let's go back to, like, again, the magical 90s, the whole thing about Superman Red and Superman Blue, and what Byrne did. that was DC's way to keep the Superman franchise going without having the Schuster and Simon original character, just in case they lost the rights to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe public domain, that independent, maybe that'll be prescient if public domain for some of the versions of the characters become a thing. Maybe that public domain series that they put out will actually be far seeing. People will go, how brilliant, they saw ahead of time. And the creators come out with certain rights and they can publish their own stuff, and it's different and it's new and it's fresh because they'll take some chances, perhaps.
Yeah, I want to speak for BKM.
He's not freezing up anymore. Let him go.
Oh yeah, Brian.
You've been really
yeah,
there.
Try
okay.
it. Try it. There you go.
I'm glad you can hear it now. Anyway, you guys made some great points. I thank you for it. And we'll find out in 2034 how DC,
because BKM has already written his Superman story and he's just waiting.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
He's written his entire Superman universe. Is what's happened.
It's like I've been saying all week when this has come up. You think I can't write the hell out of a real year one Superman? Oh baby. But anyway, no. No, you made some good points, and I agree that it's going to take the corporations to come to their senses. But unfortunately, it's one of those things where I heard it said by a DC editor, and this was back in the 80s when somebody asked, even back then, the late 80s, they're saying, why are we seeing like Millennium and 0 Hour and all these different annual crises happening? And the editor told the audience, we're going to keep doing this until you guys stop buying it, and then we're going to do it one more time just to make sure.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, you notice, especially like in the 90s, Superman dies, Batman gets his back broken, Wonder Woman is replaced. There's all these different
and then
events.
Batman died.
And died. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, the thing is, and the point I wanted to make, and thank you for letting me, is that the direct market came about because there were certain things that could not be done to, maintain comics. Comics got poor distribution in various areas of the country, including where I was growing up. You couldn't rely that the next issue would be on the stands, for every issue. Whereas something like the direct market could. The direct market was created to handle the inequities of the slowly shrinking public market, like the drugstores and the department stores, etc. But unfortunately, what they did was they gave up that mass circulation, that ability to find comics and to let people know they existed. And of course, then they also had a price point that a kid could get change enough to buy a comic. Now they have to get a loan. But we do need that wider area. We need a way to get people into the market. And if we don't have the mom and pop stores, we'll call them, to bring in new readers. Hey, Mom, what's that? Oh, I read that when I was a kid. Let me get you a copy. That's how I got started. We need that access. And unfortunately, I think the only way to do it now is with advertising. And, the thing is, advertising on Facebook is cheap as hell.
Yeah.
DC could, the thing is, like, I'm not going to pick on Grant Lankard. We love Grant Lankard. Please get Beowulf 1 through 5 right now on Kickstarter. We left the links. He's got a venue, Kickstarter, to bring in new people, and he can afford a spot. He can make his own, ad. Same with like Mike Jimmy the Lord Should Bruin. He's got some beautiful ads for Life on Quora. They can make the ads. They can have people make them for them. Why can't DC and Marvel do a Facebook ad? How might that help them? And the thing is, they could, whereas if you put it on TV, you don't know who's watching. You just know the demographics of that specific program, and you hope that they're watching. But I'll finish, Brian, and I'll let you talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
But the thing is, with Facebook ads, for instance, or even Amazon ads, you can drill down and say, okay, I want just this demographic to see it. I want to exclude this demographic because they don't read comics, and I want these areas of the, I want North America because I'm not selling to India or Bolivia. They can concentrate on where the market is and let everyone know that they publish comics and where to get them. So anyway, that's my point. Yes, Brian.
I was going to say, I think a great example of that was during the Super Bowl at the Flash trailer. I know we're talking about it's still Batman,
right?
But they, at the very end of the trailer, they, for the first time in years, threw up the Flashpoint comics that the book was based on.
Yeah.
It's not comics that are tying into the movie directly. It's just the books, the original books that this was based on.
Right.
I do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do that stuff.
Yes. Joe.
Eric? I'm sorry, Joe.
But that's the whole crux of the matter. This is not something new. They could have been doing that. And the reason I say they could have been doing that, because you have to think about it. They got HBO Max. Most of their DC stuff is on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
It takes maybe a actual let's just say a marketeer to come up with like a 10-second spot to just 10-second spot to just highlight a comic, the comic series. Like you got like the Harley Quinn animated series, you could highlight the Harley Quinn comic books like 10 seconds at the very end, 10 seconds at the very end of Doom Patrol, 10 seconds at the very end of Titans, to highlight those books. They could have been doing that, but they look at the dollar amount for doing something like that and saying it's not worth the return. And that's the real problem behind it. Yeah, it costs little to nothing to do it. But again, this is where I always been saying, it's like sometimes bean counters just need to stay out of the creative process.
Oh, yes.
If only.
To build up a audience, you have to spend money, especially for things that have been proven. Even for the slightest bit of change that you're not certain of, you're going to have to spend money to see if people are going to like it one way or the other. You just can't say, oh yeah, we got 20 million Batman fans. Okay, we're going to make the Batman's cowl now from the dark blue black into a nice blue, really black pink, bright pink. Let's see how that goes over. It's like, guess what? You can't just say my 20 million fans are going to be okay with it. It's like, no, that's something that you got to test the waters on. You got to spend the money. You got to do what you need to do to market it correctly just to get an idea about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I've watched the Hellboy documentary, surprise, surprise, like 35 times so far. I know, right? And a key part, I always cynically chuckle when one of the creators that's being interviewed talks about how when Hellboy was first released, it did not do very well. And Dark Horse, instead of saying, well, hey, this isn't doing well, it's not making any money, we're dropping the book, they saw something special in the character and in the story that was being told. So they kept it going. And eventually it took off. And the person that's being interviewed says sometimes you just have to go with a creative what was the term? Essentially just you have to take a chance on the creative drive that's behind the story. And I always chuckle at that because I'm like, how many businessmen who are in charge of these creative companies would ever do something like that, because they're not creatively driven. What drives them is money. They're businessmen. That is what you look at the nickel and the dime of things. And if that doesn't compute, cancel it.
$1.25 air.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't get
Dollar
that,
$75 air. Sorry.
yeah, if you don't get that in return, if you don't get any return on it, it's done. Instead, let it ride a little bit longer because it's a good story. Because I'm a creative and I know that this is good, and all it needs is just a little more time for people to catch on.
Yeah.
If you had somebody in charge that allowed that to happen with new characters,
Mhm.
I think the mainstream comic book industry would benefit from that.
The last person that we know of who did things like that was probably Carmine Infantino back in the 70s. Maybe Jeanette Kahn.
Yeah.
But I know that Infantino sometimes would keep books going because he knew they had potential.
Yeah.
You know, he'd let them go on for a few more issues and maybe let them find their audience.
Right.
And I know that, like, Wonder Woman for years was one of DC's worst selling books, but it appealed to a certain audience that, you know, would buy enough to keep it around, and it was still a good merchandising, property. That you know, that's the reason, you know, Wonder Woman, you know, and the reason Batman actually in its 85-year history was almost canceled twice, back in 1963 and back in the early 70s, because the sales had, you know, plummeted.
Yeah.
And so they worked to build the sales back up. You know, and you talk about bean counters, you know, again, Dan Didio had a thing about, you know, the variant covers, and we see now so many damn variant covers.
Oh.
Yes, he had them, but for the most part, he only did like one or two. Most of, you know, now, you know, you go through, you know, this thing, the monthly DC solicitation, and now you can see all the variant covers they have. I mean, yeah, and it's, you know, almost all of the major ones. You know, what's so special about it? What makes them so special after that point? I mean, back in the day, yeah, you had variant issues, but the dealers could then charge a premium for them. I can get a variant issue now for about $1 over the regular issue.
I miss Wizard magazine.
I don't. I think it did more harm to the.
Do you really?
Seriously, we can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
could be a different topic for another
day. We can do this next week with somebody with stronger internet.
Personally, for me, I was introduced to more comics through Wizard magazine. It benefited me. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I was a kid I was in high school when it stopped. So for me, it helped a lot. So I'm anxious to hear why. We don't have to get into it tonight, but I'm anxious to hear next week.
Tune in next week,
right? To hear you guys like you know, set me straight, because I would love to hear like what was wrong with it.
Because I actually have some inside information on it. I was very good friends with one of the price guide people.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because it's not like I'm not like Wizard's amazing, you shut up. Like for me, it was great. But yeah.
No, I could see that because I enjoyed reading most of the magazine. But you know, it was too tied into the market for me.
Okay.
And they were pushing a lot of companies because they could. So, but yeah, we can discuss that later on. So, Clyde.
So business. One time we had business people and people in charge that could look at the big picture and make some decisions based on it. Today, it looks like the big picture is about the size of a postage stamp with most companies. And also, Eric, we've all talked about the Didio interview. You got anything to toss in there?
Well, other than Marvel and DC, it's really their parent companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they don't care about the comics. All they want is the IPs. They want the money from the IPs. The comic revenue for both of them is minuscule to the rest of the money they make. But they want those IPs. They don't care about the comics. If you know, like Joe said, you know, if Wonder Woman didn't come out every month, they lose it. They'll probably keep the comic coming out just to keep that IP.
Right.
Well, you talked about Elmer Fudd and Batman before, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Only when something comes to their attention, like those were great crossovers. The Hanna-Barbera and the Warner Brothers cartoons, you know, crossing over. Those were
Speed Buggy and Flash.
Yeah. And the Elmer, that one won an Eisner, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And yet somebody in the parent company at the time at Warner went, "Whoa, what in the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And yanked the rug out because they went, you know, I think it was maybe over the maybe some of the Snagglepuss stuff,
Could
which
be.
again was award winning. But
Yeah.
oh no, that messes with our merchandising, perhaps, or it could.
Yeah.
So we can't have that. So
well, this
I
is
don't
the
think you'll see
same
it
company
again.
that re-inked Jack Kirby's Superman. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst thing that ever happened to Marvel and DC, and I don't know how, Marvel, we know how long they've been under Disney and someone else has owned them. I don't know how long DC hasn't owned themselves. That's been a long time, hasn't it?
it's
think-
been
Quite a while.
since the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long time.
Maybe earlier.
And has it? It hasn't always been Warner Brothers, has it?
Late
Or
60s.
has it been
Late
Time Warner?
60s.
Time Warner?
Before
Yeah.
that, they were owned by a garage company, believe it or not. A place that operated parking garages.
That's weird.
They got
Okay.
absorbed by Warner Brothers. And they've been owned by
That was probably
Warner-
better for them then.
Yes.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
The problem is they really
Free
have no
parking,
control
baby.
over their own
Free
stuff.
parking in
Marvel and DC, they
Manhattan,
have
you
no
kidding?
control.
But,
They have to
but
be
no,
told what to do. So.
yeah, but yeah, they've been owned by I don't remember the name of the company, but they were owned by somebody else in the late 60s that also owned Mad. And then they that company merged with Warner Brothers, and it's been with Warner's through all of its various iterations. Time Warner, now Warner Brothers, Discovery, etc. But no, I think Eric made an excellent point that they want the comic companies to be profitable. That's the bottom line. They've got to pay for themselves, but they operate on a whole different budget than, say, the movie arm, which Warner's is like, you'd think they were going out and they may have to kickstart the next superhero movie. But
they might. If Flash doesn't do well, they're in trouble.
You're going to
they're
see
in
heads
trouble.
roll. You are
Yeah.
going to see a bloodbath. It's going to look like 1917 Tsarist Russia.
Well,
I'll tell you,
that's the main problem.
if Ezra Miller doesn't get replaced in the movie, you're
Yeah.
gonna have some people that are rioting in the parking lot.
Oh my God, yeah.
But that's the boneheaded thing that they did. They backpedaled.
Mm-hmm.
So now all up here, it's like, this whole thing about, oh yeah, we finally got James Gunn, and James Gunn's going to lead us to the promised land. It's like, how he's going to lead you to the promised land when you coming out with the Ezra Miller Flash, knowing good and well that backlash is coming.
I
Knowing
get
that the PR
situation.
madness is going to happen.
Yeah, I do get that situation to a point because they had already made the movie and then he went nuts. So
He was always nuts.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah, he just got
really
caught.
nuts. Yeah,
Just
like
caught being
like
nuts.
holding people hostage nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it, but then they did go back and redo the ending. So I think if they didn't use that opportunity to actually make make sure, hey, he's not coming back, I think that would have been a great thing to do. I mean, but now they're just rebooting the whole thing anyway, so I don't think it really matters.
It serves no purpose. That's the whole thing. This is to me is still a cash grab that they're hoping.
Oh, it's totally a cash grab. I mean, why else would you bring Keaton in? If you're trying to do the correct story, it would be Thomas Wayne, which would be Jeffrey D. Morgan. I mean, that would be perfect.
That would be awesome.
If you're going to do it, correctly. This Keaton coming back, as much as I love it, it's a total cash grab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no other reason.
So you're saying we need another Batman?
I'm saying instead of Keaton coming back, we should have Thomas Wayne.
Okay.
But he might be Thomas Wayne. We don't know. They might throw that twist in there.
He's not Thomas Wayne. If that's the twist, I'm leaving the theater.
Yeah, right. You are.
I will. I am leaving the
yeah.
theater if it's.
He's
Thomas
going to
Wayne.
get up, get some popcorn, and sit his ass right back down in the
Right.
back
I didn't
row.
say I'd leave it for
before
Greg.
anyone
I said
sees
I'd
him.
leave it. Actually, let's be honest. I'm not going to the theater. I'm going to wait until it's in my TV screen.
There you go.
So, yeah.
It's safer. But no, I agree. It's like we don't need all these variant movies. And if anything, I hope Gunn will iron everything out so we have a cohesive universe.
Yeah, and like I said in our private group earlier in the week, if James Gunn can make his Superman movie, if his Superman movie can make me feel the way that I feel when I hear the Superman song by Five for Fighting, hats off to him. Because Smallville did it.
Yeah.
That's how Smallville kept me coming back.
Yep.
Was because Tom Welling was a damn good Clark Kent, and you actually cared about those characters. And if you can get me to do that with the new Superman, I'll be happy. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to pay much attention to the new DC movies.
And give me a non-cynical one.
Yeah, I love Henry Cavill.
I think he's one of the best.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I don't want just Henry Cavill's Superman rehashed as a younger actor now. I want all-star Superman on the screen. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And all-star Batman.
Oh
no.
No, we got all-star Batman with Ben Affleck.
That's true.
in Batman versus Superman, almost. He was almost that nuts. So yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So
I'm still holding out hope for what I want on the screen, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
And if James Gunn is smart, he would do it.
Yes.
And what he would do is pay close attention to what Darwin Cook did and bring us New Frontier.
Ooh.
If he does New Frontier to realign everything and do it as New Frontier, I bet you people will come in droves.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But
I want them to do an original movie. Yeah. I am tired of paying over and over and over to see the same story.
I really hope Superman's not an origin story, but I really think it is.
You know,
We're saying it's not going to be, but who knows?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's like the young Clark Kent starting out.
See,
as
kind of like how Pattinson's Batman was. He was established, but still pretty young. Okay.
Yeah, and
I was disappointed to get to see Martha and Thomas get killed again on screen. I was really disappointed in that.
That amazed me.
That they just don't get old, right?
That they didn't even do a flashback.
Yeah,
like they did nothing. They weren't on there at all. I was like, they finally did it.
Yeah,
easy people finally did it.
Well, the way to do it is do it during your opening credits, a montage during the credits.
That's what Zack Snyder did.
Yeah, and that worked.
It worked. Worked really well.
Slow motion bullet.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Give me all of it everywhere. Slow motion. Yeah. Yeah. The phallic symbol gun on the pearls.
But that comes back to the one thing that I talked about in my last article. When you cross in mediums like that, that's unavoidable because you can't always think that your viewing audience knows everything about the character like those who are completely invested in the comic book form.
Oh yeah, if we learned any lesson, that's the lesson we learned with Zack Snyder's stuff for sure.
Hey, if you want to know more about this character, look at these comic books. Go pick them up now.
Wisdom.
Yeah,
exactly. And to that point, Sarah's got a really great comment here. I knew I was screwed when I told the comic shop owner I wanted to get into Wonder Woman, and they said, "Which one?"
Yeah.
Oh, does that hit hard?
That's not a comic book shop. That's my litmus test to know if that comic book shop is worth its weight.
Oh yeah, how's that?
I asked them, it's like, hey, what you got as far as Wonder Woman? Most of them will have the most current stuff. If they have older stuff, then that's like it's small pickings. But they would try to steer you away from it. Why? Because of the simple fact that it's not something that particular store want to invest in.
Mm-hmm. Well, back issues are one, they're becoming all very expensive, and two, comic book mainstream for the last 20 years, comic books have been so expensive. It's tough to have a budget for back issues.
Well, I'll tell you what, I almost picked up that Wiz comic reprint until I saw it was $6.99.
Really?
I was like, oh, that looked cool.
And that's the sort of thing that I've been buying some of especially the older, like really old replicants of the old comics. Because
I highly doubt that, Sarah. I highly doubt that.
What?
She said it's like they have everything. I was like, oh, really? Ask them for Volume 1, Wonder Woman 204, 205, 206. Volume
What
1,
if she's not into Wonder
121.
Woman, though?
Huh?
What if she's not into Wonder Woman?
No, that's what she was asking about. She
Yeah.
was asking originally about Wonder Woman, and then she follows up. It's like they have everything. It's like, oh, really?
Well, they have everything for her, is the thing.
Yeah.
So, and being a Wonder Woman collector as you are, it'd be the same way with me as Superman. It's like I'm looking more for the older issues myself, but I know they're going to try to sell me like, the oldest thing they might have is like, this is Dan Jurgens, if you heard of him, that sort of thing. But we have to remember that it's relative, that you and I think in old terms, but a lot of people don't. Unfortunately, that's a lot of the dealers now. So, Brian?
No, I'm just mimicking Eric.
My hand was up first. Come on.
Okay, but I'm looking down there, Eric.
Yeah.
Why aren't you down there?
He looks at me first, Eric, because I'm prettier. That's why.
Right. We have a physical thing going. Go ahead.
I must go.
Where's the not the green room sign again?
I must go as well.
I think we all should. So
I must support the other show. The lobby's filling up. I need to get in there, so I'm going to say goodbye and say hi to Five Flocks Pro. It's good seeing him. He's an independent creator himself, letterer, penciler, inker, writer, all around good guy. But I'll be doing the Drawn Quarter show here in a few moments. We're doing Vestry, which is another independent comic book, is their 5th issue and going to be the last of that series.
Share what you do.
I will. I will.
Vote for Eric.
Vote for Eric. Yes.
Because when I win, I still don't go to the pro show because I just don't feel like it anymore.
Yeah.
You're too good for him.
I haven't.
It's like I've beaten you all too many times.
It's not as much fun as it used to be.
Oh well.
Yeah, you follow my links right there. There.
Right there.
All right.
You got it.
See you all next week. Have a great week, and thanks for coming in, tuning in, and seeing us and laughing with us. Bye.
Thank you, Eric.
Bye.
We love you, man. Ryan,
you
how
guys
about
too.
you?
Hi.
You're scaring me.
The large man. I'm Brian Rodman, and I am the creator of, author and illustrator of Memoirs of an Angel, the Nebulizer, and I have some cool news. The Nebulizer issue 2 is done.
Yay!
We are in final edits. Gosh, it's taken me way too long.
When's number 3 coming out?
Anyway,
does that mean 1 month? One more month?
That's what that one finger meant. This summer, I am launching the beginning of the Cosmic Wheel Mythos illustrated novels, starting with Memoirs of an Angel Book 1, The Grey Pilgrim. So if you've read the comics, the comics are your introduction to what this book is going to be. It's going to be the full story of Book 1, including everything that's been told in the comics and plenty more. And that's kicking off a 15 to 20 year book release, 1 to 2 books every year. So get ready. This summer is going to be pretty awesome. Head here to subscribe and get on the newsletter train, so you are up to date on everything that's going on. And yeah, that's it for me. Thanks. This has been a lot of fun. I'm so glad I was able to be here tonight.
Us too, Brian.
Us too. Yes.
And I hope your editor lives long enough to see the fruition of your dreams.
We'll tap into some Walt Disney, cryogenic stasis stuff. If not,
I'll be an animatronic. That's it.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Thank you, Brian.
See you guys. Love you.
Thank you. Love you too, man. Clyde, how about you?
Hey, Clyde Hall, elder statesman of geekery. You can find me at www.stormgatepress.com because I'm a contributing writer at Stormgate Press. You can find wonderful things on their site or on Amazon, like The Lost Adventures of Captain Hockland, Volume 1. Yay. Brian K. Morris and I both have stories in there. And Charles Milhouse, celebrating the 10th anniversary of his new pulp character, Captain Hockland, has 2 issues that are signed by all of the contributors, and he's getting ready to do a a giveaway of those issues. So you need to go to Stormgate Press to keep up with that at least. But also go to Amazon and check out things like Pulp Reality 1, 2, 3, and 4, and soon our Western anthology through Stormgate Press. Also, you can find me on Facebook. You can go right down here to find the things on Amazon that I have helped to write. And you can always tune in on Thursday nights. Normally, you will find me here at Comic Book Spectrum. Oh, also, you can find some of my reviews at Comics Beat. That's The Beat. And that's www.comicsbeat.com.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Clyde. Appreciate you as always. And Jody McFee.
Yes, I'm going to start myself with a quick little PSA here. For those who are going to be brand new into Wonder Woman and you don't want to get into the whole tracking down issue, some of the cool things that you could look in as, as a beginner that are interesting. Like, for one, the trade paperback version of the contest. Now, you could get this in issue form, but it's probably going to be easier to actually find it in trade paperback. You have Wonder Woman Blue Amazon, which is another one, which is a great story by Jill Thompson, the same Jill Thompson that did Scary Godmother. Did an excellent Wonder Woman story. You have Wonder Woman, the Haitia, which is the kind of like during the time where Wonder Woman and Batman were having like their thing, but it was a great little story. Love it. You also have Justice League, A League of One. If you're a good Wonder Woman fan, if you're really trying to get into her and get into like her mentality about things, this is the trade paperback that you want to get. As a whole, here is a nice story where pretty much she does what she does. She defends the world without the help of the rest of the Justice League. And then the last one, which is also in comic book form, and I know this is hard to come across because there was a lot of great covers that was done in this particular series, which is Paradise Lost. So that will be another trade paperback that you would get. Now I have all these issues and everything, but it's just to say if you're brand new into Wonder Woman, that's where you want to start. You're looking into it if you want to get into the trade paperback aspect as opposed to issues. But if you also like that, you might want to also check out my Amazonia series. Right here in my hand, I have issue number 7, all different versions of issue number 7, from the original A cover, the B cover, the Daphne Lage variant, and the Steph Wilson variant. All right here. That's going to be made available at C2E2 here. If you want to track me down here, everything is right there on the link tree, where you could go to linktree/Sailboat. It will have the links to the company page where you could buy our books there, have links to all of my YouTube channels and all the social media aspects there. And until next time, I will see you next Thursday, where we will have our next selection here that was selected by you, the chat, and those that are in the actual Facebook group for Comic Book Spectrum.
Excellent. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Appreciate it, man. And I'm Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, writer, editor, and yes, I do edit stuff, and it's good. Anyway, please check that out. I'm also a contributor to Stormgate Press, Prose Press, and I'm starting to hit the road now with various and sundry shows. So please go to risingtide.pub, where you can sign up for my monthly newsletter. It's absolutely free, and the next issue will be out March 1st. So please check it out. Also, we want to thank the people that bring you this show, and one of them, of course, is our Patreon accounts. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can directly support your favorite creators. So just $1 a month, in my case, and you get access to a twice weekly blog. And this week, actually tomorrow, we are dropping the 8th chapter of my next novel, Volcana 2, and it's getting pretty exciting. I'm having fun writing it, and you'll get to see the first draft of it and see how it changes when it reaches printed form. But if you want to see all the stuff we offer you, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris for more information. Also, we are brought to you by Rising Tide Publications. Soon we're going to have out the the 10th anniversary celebration of Santa Stein, a hardcover that features the original stage play script upon which the novel was based, as well as the new book, The Terrors. They'll be coming out soon, along with a special benefit book for Amy Hale, Amy and John Hale. You will see across the bottom of the screen a crawl for GoFundMe.com. Please check out that site because John and Amy Hale are a big part of our creative community, and they have been faced with mounting medical bills, and we're going to try to help them pay it off. We've raised over $2,500 so far. It's gotten rid of a handful of bills, but we've got a long way to go, and we need your help. So please check that site out for more information about why it's important to contribute. And please do. All right. And also, we are brought to you by the incredible artist, Jeffrey Hayes, who runs Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now, it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
Because it definitely matters to your readers. If you want them to buy your stuff, then definitely check out what Jeffrey Hayes offers. Go to their Facebook page and check out the samples there. Then go to plasmafiregraphics.com and ask about their indie-friendly prices there. I think you'll be amazed at all the stuff you can get at a very affordable price for creative. That's Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. We will be back next week, next Thursday, and we'll have more comic book reviews and conversation. We hope you'll join us then. Thank you for being with us tonight. And let's see, I got to make sure my things on the right hand. Okay, there we go. Make sure I've got the next thing queued up. Anyway, again, please give some love to John and Amy Hale on GoFundMe. Please check that out. Also, please go to Facebook, and the only page that isn't a toxic dump of negativity is the Comic Book Spectrum page. You can read almost daily reviews of brand new and starting soon back issue magazines. We're going to start reviewing some of them too. Even more than the copies that we got to tonight. Check out that page. Please give it a like. We'd really love to see you there visiting us. And also, please, if you enjoyed any part of the show, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Please give us a like on Facebook, and definitely subscribe to the show, especially if you're on YouTube. It helps us with the algorithm so much. If you're watching us on the reruns, please leave a comment down below. We'll try to get back to you. And as always, folks, thank you for being here. We'll see you next Thursday on Comic Book Spectrum. And remember, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. We'll see you next week here on Comic Book Spectrum. Take care, everyone.